That's weird that it started later. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. I'm very distracted right now because you guys can't quite see it. There's a kitty head right here under my monitor, and she's like right out, like peeking under. Hey, stop it. Welcome everybody back to the stream. Where did my chat go? There it is, over here. I moved it. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Wednesday. Of course, Wednesday means it is Kdog After Dark. Will you stop? She has to make her presence known at the beginning of every web show. Kdog After Dark. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm just going to go ahead and get it started. I can't wait. Starting next week. I know I've been talking about it, guys. Big things coming for the web show, but I'm going to go ahead and switch it over so that we can kind of get going here. Kdog After Dark, episode 18. End of season 1. 18 episodes. I think that's a decent season. I mean, Netflix seasons aren't that long, so I feel like that's a valid season. I can't hear Charlie if she's talking. I see a mouth moving. Wow. Oh, I still was muted in my thing. Well, no, I should still be able to hear you. Wait, are you guys talking? I'm confused.
I'm not.
Okay. There we go.
Oh, I had myself
I was going to say, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, yeah. I'm like, I had you guys muted to stream, but I'm like...
muted.
Got it. Hey, can you relax, kitty? Anyways, episode 18. End of the unofficial kind of first season, and that tonight I am joined by the lovely iCharley as co-host. Welcome back, iCharley. Everybody knows her, obviously. There's the smile. Yeah, she's such a nice person. She is the sweetest. And yeah, I don't even know if I can keep saying that with a straight face. All right. Actual special guest this evening is Aphaeaa over there. There we go. Everybody say, oh, you both have like almost matching, or do you guys have the same headset? Almost, kind of? I just noticed that. Yeah. You both have the cat ears.
Yeah, they're both Razors.
I would say like it's like the Razer headset thing. Nice. I feel like I'm missing out. Hold on. Here,
Charlie's
Kitty.
are better.
Kitty, come here. Kitty, come here. Nope. You're gonna be.
Oh, she's the one who got. Yeah, and I'm still gonna murder him for that at the next con. He's gonna sleep with one eye open. I'm still mad about that.
Oh yeah, and Valorant. Yep, and Charlie is the one that I was like, oh, I made a mistake. Bad things happen, but it was a great clip. Especially because she was so angry about it. But we'll talk about that in a second. Of course, Aphaeaa is special guest. She is the guest of honor this evening. I mean, it's always weird. I always say this. I have like a couple little things I always like to say about guests and things like that, but it's always weird for me talking about, like friends and all that in the stream, because it's like, what do I say? Because I already know this stuff. So Aphaeaa, of course, been on platform, known you for probably about a year or so ish now, I'd say. I don't think you haven't been to a con or anything, right? We've never met in person.
No.
Okay. I didn't think so. I was just making sure that my old memory. Yeah, if there is a PAX West, I mean that's possibly. We're still I don't know.
That's still 50-50.
Yeah, exactly. If that. But of course, streaming wise, like, give us your rundown. You do a lot of paladins still, right? I mean, or you used to. I know for a while you were pushing that for quite a bit.
I mean, I basically grew my community off of Apex starting out. I've been on the platform a year as of 3 weeks ago. A lot of variety as of lately. Well, kind of. I've been PC ranked grinding on Apex, but I mean, it's a lot of variety.
Yay, PC life. If any of you remember, about 6 months ago or so, there was a random video that I posted with a girl yelling and screaming in Apex and freaking the fuck out. That was Aphaeaa. That was like her first or second time playing PC Apex, and she was in it and she was playing. And this clip, I think it's still somewhere on my Twitter. I'll have to dig it up maybe before the end of the web show. I should.
Oh, it is. Easy.
And I was watching. I was knocked. I was dead. And I'm watching her, and I'm like telling her, and I'm just there. This is like her day one, and I'm like, still kind of sweaty a little bit in Apex. And we're going in, and she just gets shot, and I tell you not, like, she screams and she just moves her mouse, like you see her panic, like mouse movement all up over and around, and she just starts like running frantically away, and it works. She lives. That's the worst thing, is that I'm like, obviously this is a tactic. If you scream at the people chasing you and run around all frantic, you'll get out alive. I mean, you lasted for an extra like 30 seconds somehow. I don't know.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
I can
don't know.
hardcore relate to that.
Yeah,
PC Apex, especially when you're not used to like an FPS on mouse and keyboard when you're first.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, she
fucking. It's rough.
Let me see if I could find it as we're starting out here.
It was a full on ultimate panic. I'm pretty sure I queued, went to my phase, and just stood still.
I think you did. Yeah, you like it was like a panic. Like maybe if I stand still, they won't shoot me. You know, I think that's kind of what it was.
It's when you're trying to get used to mouse and keyboard, especially like it's completely different from like Valorant to. Like I'm decent at mouse and keyboard on Valorant, but like when you put me into like an actual FPS like Siege or Apex, it's a completely different ball game.
It's a whole new
Valorant
world.
is arguably like slower, you can say, you know, than like Apex and all that, which is a very fast-paced thing. All right, hold on. I'm gonna find it while we're starting off and talking here. I'm gonna find this clip. Big bet. You guys gotta see it. What else, Aphaeaa? What else did I miss?
What you want to know? What you want to know?
It's okay. What I want to know is here. You guys watch this. Hold on. So for whatever reason, OBS is being silly tonight, and their cameras aren't going to be on the scene when we're talking about topics and all that. I don't know why. I spent 5 minutes trying to figure it out. There's just always something. Either way. All right. So if you guys, this is it. It's not the greatest quality because like I think I had to pull it off my VOD for some reason because it didn't like clip. But
What's up, Master?
Let me see. This is.
One of the mods could have hit it. Gosh.
So they just backloaded because you put it on you.
Like how she just queues and stands still.
Like this is this is what it was here. I don't know why the quality is shit. It's like the scream and the oh my god, what's going on? Looking up. They're all up for the web show, BZ. Calm down. It's all stuff for the web show. I gotta have tabs. And the frantic gunshots there.
Yeah. She does the Wraith, not Portal, but the other thing, and she stops while she's doing it.
Yeah.
Does it,
Yep.
continues to stand there for 2 seconds, and then runs.
Yep, and it's like, oh, stand still. Oh, wait, I need to run. Oh, my God.
Queues and stands
There
still.
was like 3 teams surrounding
Yeah,
us. So
there were...
either way, but I was so panicking because I did not know what to do.
She was so,
I had no clue
and
what
she
to do. I
gets
was like, I know I
away,
need to
and
run.
she's alive. That's the word. And I'm just there, just like shaking my head, just like, oh my god, like I have no idea. I just watched this happen. It was insane. It was insane. All right, back to this goodness here. Yeah, it's all tabs for the web show, BZ. Calm down, calm down. I gotta have all this stuff ready. But yeah, I don't. That's really. I mean, like I said, it's always weird because I'm trying to think of like things to talk about. I mentioned a couple things, but you know, since you know when I hang out with friends, it's like I already know all this stuff. So why don't all you people? Gosh. But yeah, we'll move right on. If I think of anything else, or if you think of anything else, of course.
Callie, thank you for follow.
I know, of course. Gonna be pushing partner here soon, I believe. Correct in the next month or so.
We're
hey,
on it.
hey, it took me 3 tries. Cheers. So it's all good. Well, two and a half. I've always told that story. Two and a half. Yeah.
Third one doesn't really.
Yeah, I was like, I never really
full...
got to my third one. It was like 2 and a half, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charlie saw like the email that I got, and I still, it's just like, huh? Like, whatever. Anyways, I've talked about that before.
So fucking questionable.
Yeah, it's like, it was so weird. It was so weird. But all right. We'll go ahead and start getting into the show a little bit, guys. As always, it's always funny because Undercard can almost recite this. As always, guys, as we're getting into the show, since we are doing a taping, we are hosts of the web show. We see you guys in chat, I promise. We'll be interacting with you guys a little bit, but mainly we're going to be interacting with each other, talking about the topics and having the discussion. So if we don't respond to hosts, follows, things like that, or even like every little comment, we still love you. We see it. We promise. It just might not, you know, we don't want to cut each other off. So you'll see every once in a while things that we'll like type in chat ourselves. Like if, you know, Charlie's talking, I'll type in chat or something like that to respond if it's something like directly at me that I can respond to. And of course, link in chat, that'll pop up periodically. If you do have any questions or anything like that, that we don't cover 100% or you want a little bit more information on, definitely hop in the Discord. There is the live Q&A section. Throw it in there at the end of the web show. When we come back around, we kind of do a little section, check that, make sure that we covered everything. You guys can hop in there and post any questions that we may have missed or little things. And there may be something in the news that we missed. That has happened before. That somebody's like, hey, what about this? At the end of the show, I'm like, I didn't even catch that. Let me go look quick and we can talk about it. So that may be something there.
My giant water bottle.
That's okay.
Like a baby.
All right. I'm going to hold my wine glass like a baby because that's...
Look, I am trying to drink more water, so...
I have water here too. I'm just also...
Yeah, okay.
I just turned...
Is it Jesus water?
I just turned this water to wine. Yeah, exactly. It's a combination of Jesus water to actual water. All right. Moving right along. Starting off, just one of those. What, a Jesus water? I love Jesus water. Oh.
I have this one.
Oh, her big old gallon jugs.
I like this one because it has the handle and it has the straw, and then
Charlie has gallon jugs.
I have this one. It doesn't have a straw, so that's why I'm not using it.
I'm just gonna moving right along, getting into the web show. Starting off this week. Of course, a lot of things going on in the news. We all know about that, the protests, things like that. Not necessarily talk about that. Not going to bring that up on the, well, bring it up, but not going to have us talk and discuss that. I think we've all discussed it on our respective platforms in one way or another. So not talking about that itself. But company-wise, gaming company-wise, it has affected the gaming industry a little bit. Most notably, Sony and Activision were kind of two of the biggest ones. EA as well have had things postponed. So Sony has rescheduled their PS5 event that was supposed to be tomorrow, June 4th. That was supposed to debut a lot of the PS5 games and things like that. They said, one of the things that they said, and actually a couple of great quotes, and that is that we understand gamers worldwide are excited to see PS5 games. We do not feel that right now is a time for celebration, and for now we want to stand back and allow more important voices to be heard. This is pretty much about the same thing that COD released, Activision released on their Twitter pages as well regarding Season 4. Season 4 of COD has also been delayed. No date reschedule for either of those, the PS4 or PS5 event or COD Season 4 drop. Also, EA delayed their Madden NFL debut, talking about Madden NFL 21, the news conference about that. And then Google also delayed their Android 11, which kind of is gamey, but, you know, I mean, it's techie as well. That all being said, like I said, not talking about the protests and all that. I mean, Charlie was in the chat the other night when we talked about it in my channel. What do we think of these companies? Like, would you like to see more of these companies doing this right now? Is it a good thing? Do you think that they should have still gone along with it, or?
I don't think that they should have gone. I think that they, at the end of the day, they did the right thing, because giving people the voices that need to be heard right now is much more important than game releases. And this actually gives me a this actually gives me more respect for PlayStation, and I might actually buy a PS5 now because of this, because they did this. It actually gives me more respect, and I'm not a PlayStation person. I've never been a PlayStation person, but this gives me a lot of respect. And I think at the end of the day, if Xbox had a game release day or something like that, they would have done the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's really, especially with Xbox just having just recently, obviously they want that franchise competition, like have theirs drop too, but to take that into consideration, that says a lot. Yeah. That's very, like, the most respectable thing I've seen companies do.
I agree. I mean, there's a bunch of, there's a bunch of times that we've highlighted that Sony is, not the nicest company. They normally get the bad guy company of the week. We've highlighted that many times, but this definitely is something Sony responded quite a few times on their channel and everything else. So I think I agree. I think this was definitely the right decision. Whenever these things launch down the road, obviously push back a little bit, but this definitely gives me a little bit more respect. I'd like to see a couple more companies doing this, but these are just the ones that have the people, you know, had things going out this week. So
Yeah, I think if they had something going out this week or at this time period, they would have most likely done the same thing.
Yeah.
I can think of one company that they were going to do a release for something, and I can't because NDA. And so I'm not going to say what it was or what company it was, but they were having a release for something this week. And since it was like nobody knows about it because NDA, they're pushing it back.
Yeah.
Because of this.
Yeah, and I think that's the right step considering everything that's going on. We've all talked about it in our respective streams and socials and all that. We don't need to get that. That could be a whole nother web show in and of itself. But yeah, I think this is the right move for the companies, you know, depending on how long, you know, the only bad thing I will say, just devil's advocate wise, this is something that could be going on for a while, which is perfectly okay by me. So when do you start bringing these things back out is the only thing that I say, just sort of like the devil's advocate side of thing. Like, when is it going to be okay? In 2 weeks, if it's still going on, do they go, okay?
It's kind of like Corona.
Yeah.
Like, when is it going to be okay for businesses to open up with Corona? And I'm not equating this to Corona, but it's this kind of the same concept. Like, when are we going to, if this had never happened, when is it going to be okay to open back up because of Corona?
Yeah, when are we able to? Yeah, exactly. And I get what you're saying. It's like timing wise, when is it going to be okay to start releasing these things again? Because you do want to give the respect that it's deserved, but at some point, you know, they're gonna want to drop COD Season 4 for Modern Warfare. They're gonna want to drop these, you know, the PS5 stuff and things like that. So it's just gonna be interesting to see if this does continue, how long this kind of stalemates out or anything like that.
I feel like it's going to be... I feel like this is going to last a long time, as it should. And
Agreed.
I think that... But I also think that most of it, since a lot of those people are gamers themselves and they actually care about this stuff, and they might want a reprieve, you know, a peaceful... Okay, well, COD isn't that peaceful, but... a reprieve of where they can focus on something else,
get away for a couple minutes. And that's a lot of that has been seen and talked about in a lot of different communities. Like, you know, do you use your platform to talk about it or use it as an escape, you know? So it's that it's that balance. So it's going to be interesting to see how long.
It's going to be a double-edged sword with a hell of a fucking balance. That's for sure. It's going to be... The next few months are going to be rough and for everybody, and especially for these companies, because I mean, at the end of the day, they still have to make money. So unless they're going to pull like a freaking Respawn and just release shit without anything else, like not telling anybody that the game's being developed, not release anything, and they just release it all, and I mean that's one way they can do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a Nintendo move also. I mean, Nintendo always is known for just the week before, they're like, hey, this is a full game that's coming out next week, guys. Surprise, you know?
Well,
like,
remember Respawn was just like, oh, hey, so we made this game. It's called Apex Legends.
Here's Apex.
It'll go live in 2 hours. Have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, it's free. Like,
yeah, nobody knew about it. The couple streamers, the big streamers that they had contracted knew about it like the week before, and that was... That was it. So
Shroud knew about it the month before. Like,
well, yeah, or however much. Yeah,
he was testing a bunch of the stuff.
Yeah,
but I mean, like what they might do is just like not release the previews and stuff like that. The trailers, and they'll just release it. Like we have Cyberpunk coming out in 2 months.
Yeah,
in a month and a half, actually. And we haven't seen any playthrough of it. Are they just going to release it and just say, you know what, we're just going to release this? We're not going to make a big hype about it?
Yeah, well, no, Cyberpunk is September, so we have...
2 months.
Yeah.
Wait. June, July.
Yeah, I would say we got a little more.
Okay,
yeah.
Look,
I agree. No, it's okay. Last week, what was it? Last week we were like, all right, this releases on June 5th or June 4th or something like that, and we were all like, so that's how many days? And we were like, how many days are in May? And nobody fucking knew. And I'm like, it's okay. Yeah. However many days are in May plus 5, that's when it releases, guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, nobody look it up. Let's just stay ambiguous and not know how many days are in May. It's this many days from now.
I'm pretty sure everyone has lost their sense of time at this point.
Oh yeah. yeah, 110%. Although I never knew from the beginning like how to do. There's like that month thing, like knuckles. Isn't that a thing? Like if it's like the indent on your
Yeah.
knuckle,
Yeah.
it's a 28 or something, or not a 28, but it's a less. I don't know. I remember something about that from grade school, and it never stuck. So that's what calendars are for.
That's math. That's no.
Mhm,
That's
yeah.
math. I don't math.
Yeah.
That's why I play video games for a living. Like,
Mhm. See, like that's what I thought. But then it's like when you get to 10, do you go back? I thought when you get to 10, you like do a jump. I don't fucking know.
I don't even know what today is.
It's Wednesday. That's the only reason I know anything. I just know because I have a web show every week on Wednesdays and I have to prep for it. So the only day I know every week.
Thursday.
Yeah.
I thought today was Thursday. Like I said, like this, I don't. Well, okay, even like without Corona, like I didn't know what fucking day it was.
True. So, but yeah, of course, we'll be watching this. This is one of those things like Corona, COVID, that will affect our industry in one way or the other. You know, we're not talking about rights, wrongs, any of that. We have our respective stances. But, you know, we will be talking and continually on the web show about how this is affecting certain things. And this is one of those scenarios. Right now, we don't have a release for COD Season 4, the Sony PS5 event. Maybe it's just something that, you know, they release online in a couple weeks. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how long these companies wait to push these things out. Because, like Charlie said, at some point, they are going to want to make that money. At some point they have to, you know, push their product. Yeah.
The people that work there have to make money too, and like they have to feed their families, and that's as much as like they want to do the right thing, and they did do the right thing by pushing it back. At the end of the day, they have families to feed too.
It's like when do you balance, you know, that for when it comes out? But I think we could all agree that for anything that was coming out this week, the fact that these companies, you know, pushed it back or canceled these things because they wanted more attention on the movements, and that is definitely the right decision. I think, you know,
Definitely.
Sony, Google, EA. Sony and EA definitely always on the bad guy companies of the week, but, you know, they did a good thing this week. Activision, you know, not normally on the top of my, you know, good moves as a company, but, you know, they did a good job. You do good job. No wag of the finger this week for you.
This makes me appreciate PlayStation a lot more than I did.
Yeah. It's definitely, you know, good moves on their part, very, you know, respected, as they should have. So it's nice to see that these bigger companies are giving, you know, time and the respect to these movements that it deserves. So,
yeah,
that's the downer of the evening. Moving right along to the next thing, which I'm really excited to talk about because I think it's fucking hilarious. Sega, to celebrate their 60th anniversary, is taking one of their most notorious platforms and re-releasing it in micro form. But it's not a Dreamcast. It's not a Sega Genesis. It's their little handheld Game Gear thing. And I say little because it was tiny before, and now it's literally that size right there you see in that picture. I have other things here. It's the micro Game Gear. It's launching in Japan October 6th. It's going to be roughly $45. It's like 4,900 yen or something like that. So I'm going to pull up because also I think it's great because it's like watching an anime. So I'm going to pull it up. And then we could talk, and I'll give a little bit more information about it. But you got to see, like, even this, like, release, like, the news or whatever, the release date or commercial for it here. So I'll turn this down a little bit so that way you guys can see it. Yes. Obviously, it's in Japanese because it's only being released over there, so... But it's like watching an anime for me. So that's the original.
Perfectly in my little baby hands.
But like, wait for it. It's so fucking tiny. Look at that thing.
This would fit perfect in my little baby hands. I feel sorry for I wear a size 3.5 ring on my ring.
That is insane.
This is perfect for my little baby hands. I'm okay with it.
I love how everything is in Japanese, but then like the big things on the screen, just like in like anime and other things, like it's still in English, like because they, oh hey, this is the black version. So we'll talk about this in a little
I'm
second.
playing it.
Yep.
I'm playing it.
So the thing is, you know, and I can talk over it since it's in Japanese and we don't understand what they're saying anyway. So what they're going through right now is there's 4 different editions being sold for it. So black, blue, yellow, and red. The thing about it is each of these comes preloaded with certain games. So you can't have different games than what's like preloaded on it. It's just you buy the edition that has the games that you want. You can't just buy like the color that you want, which is kind of, you know, whatever. But you know, you go, okay, I want this. I want Gunstar. I want you know, Last Bible, and it has like things on there. Sonic. You have to buy the color to correspond to the games that you want.
I'm just gonna buy all 4. I'm just buying all 4.
Well, that's the thing, and so a lot of things. Yeah, Colin's like all these on there. If you buy all 4, you get the also a relaunch of the original big window that they had. If you guys remember, for all you old fucks out there like myself, they had the magnification glass. And they're relaunching that as well. So instead of the 1-inch screen, you actually, if you buy all 4, you get the, you know, the relaunch of that little big window screen as well. Which I think is great. So now your 1-inch screen is going to like a 3-inch screen, you know, or something like that. But you have to buy all 4, you know. So at $45 a pop, you're looking at $180.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's for all 4, and then you get the magnifying. I mean, like I said, I have little baby hands, so that's perfect for me. Like, all you fuckers with your giant fucking hands, you might not be able to play it, but me and my ring size 3.
Hey, every guy appreciates a girl like you,
Oh
Charlie.
my
I promise.
I have little hands. Like I
was about to
actually
say,
have little
damn,
hands.
mine's a 7.5.
My ring size, my ring finger, I can wear 3 to 3.5. So like this is perfect for me.
Yeah, because I mean, definitely not gonna work for me. Because I'm like, my thumb would take up both of those buttons on the right. I'd be trying to hit like A, and I'd hit B or both of them, and everything else, and it's insane.
I have chunky thumbs.
This is why I'm so bad at mouse and keyboard, because my little fingers, like, they can't maneuver like some of you fucks can. Like that's why. See? I have.
Yeah, it would literally like it would be like that's the thing. Like it's literally about that size and that promo pic, like they showed during the video, and it's insane to me to think that for this little like it's cool. The thing that you know is weird for me is that the fact that if you want a certain game or whatever, to get all 4, to get all those games, like that's $180. That's a lot.
That's not bad.
I don't know. I feel like that's a lot for
Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, but it's a little gimmicky thing. How often are you going to play that 1.15-inch screen?
That goes back to our childhood, though. That's like
I would have rather they
my
re-released the
childhood.
actual Game Gear, though. I would have bought a modern Game Gear.
Yeah.
Give me that preloaded with
but
these games and different color options.
It's still very. Oh, what is the word? Nostalgic.
Oh, yeah.
It's very nostalgic for like you and me, because that's something that we grew up with, and
Aphaeaa is sitting there like, what the fuck is this old ass piece of equipment?
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
It's like a Tamagotchi.
But-
No, exactly.
Oh
That's
my
what
God.
I played growing up. Tamagotchi.
And now I feel old. Thank you.
And I'm still older, so.
Goodbye.
And
So
Charlie's
sorry.
gone. She's like, nope,
Yeah,
I'm
no.
done.
No, I just got called old in the nicest way possible.
It was like that thing. Oh yeah, like Warlock. Yeah. But I think this thing was like 4 or 6 AA batteries. It was like, does anybody remember? It was an insane, like, I feel like this thing sucked AA batteries. Like, you had to have stock in AA batteries to run this thing.
Of, like,
yeah,
128 from like Sam's Club or something like that. You had to buy like the 128.
yeah, and then you were like, if you were playing this thing like nonstop, you were. I think it was 8.
I remember switching it out like every.
I think it was like 4 on each side. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and you had to switch out batteries like every 3-4 hours.
Because you would only ever switch out like 1 or 2 batteries too. You would only ever switch out like one side. That's the thing. Because you tried to get the most out of all the batteries in there. So you were like, you know, trying to, you know, do that. It did have a DC port, but who was sitting there as a kid next to the fucking wall playing this motherfucker?
No, I lost that.
It was like a 3-foot cable. It was like, you know, you're sitting there in the corner of the room, you know.
I literally lost
3
the
per
charger,
side.
the wall charger
That sounds right.
within like an hour of opening it. I lose everything. So, can't relate.
I couldn't afford all the batteries and all that either. I remember having I don't remember using the DC thing that much. But I do remember it being a thing. I remember playing Sonic on it. I loved this thing. It was insane. Definitely, it's playing off nostalgia like everything else. I think it's amusing. The one thing I don't get is that, like, you're buying certain colors for the price and all that, and it's like, what is this, fucking Pokemon? Like, we have to buy, like, what Pokemon do you want? Do you want, the ones with the fucking RK9 and all that, or do you want the ones with the other edition that has these Pokemon? Like, you have to, specifically buy which color has the games that you want.
I'm just buying all 4.
Yeah.
I'm just buying all 4.
Just bring them all to the next PAX and we'll all sit around. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a very indecisive person. I'm bringing them to PAX West. So
yeah,
whoever wants to play them.
Yeah. Well, they won't be out for PAX West. It would have to be out after, because they come out after. This launches October 6th. So.
Oh, see, hey, perfect birthday present for me, guys. My birthday's October 28th. See?
There you go. There you go. Put that as a goal.
Wait, no, I want the Baby Yoda the statue. I want the Baby Yoda statue.
I don't know how that. I don't know what that is. There's a Baby Yoda statue.
You know what Baby Yoda is?
Well, I know what Baby Yoda is. I don't know what statue she's referencing.
What do you mean?
It's a statue that's supposed to be like the actual size of the Baby Yoda in the show, and somebody is there. It's being released in October.
How do we know what the actual size is? Well, I guess it is nerdy enough. There is canon. Now, there's probably canon out there that says that he's like 3 foot, whatever, or whatever.
Yeah.
There's enough nerdy people that have made, yeah.
Like with how tall, I can never remember his name. The guy that plays Mando. They actually there are people who are scientific in math, mathematically, gifted, who can. What the the triangle.
Pythagorean.
That one. Yeah.
I googled it. He's 16 inches tall.
Yay, Google. Well, there you go. It's a 16-inch. It's a 16-inch statue.
They probably figured that out from the triangle.
Yeah, like figuring and doing that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Math.
Yeah. Pythagorean. Yeah.
You knew, that's a weird ass word, and you knew as soon as I said triangle.
I know what you meant.
Exactly
yeah.
what I meant.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
That's science.
Yeah. Math, but yes. All of the above. I mean, it's a subject in school. Yes, it is.
That's math.
It's math. So there you go, guys. If you're interested in buying 4 little tiny Charlie-sized relaunch of the Game Gears, we're just gonna call them. They're not micro. They are Charlie-sized. Game Gears, there you go. Pick your color. It does have on the information. I could put the link actually in the Discord. I didn't, but it does say which consoles, which ones come with which games. I just didn't write it down because I didn't want to list out and spend all my time on my paper launching which one. I could actually do it right here. I could tell you guys really quick. So black one comes with Sonic, Outrun, Royal Stone, and Puyo Puyo, which actually is, I love that fucking game. Blue comes with Sonic and Tails, Gunstar Heroes, Sylvan Tale, and Baku Baku. Red is Game Gear Shinobi, Columns, and the 2 Megami Tensei Gaiden games. And yellow has Shining Force 2, Shining Force Final Conflict, and Natsu Puyo Aruru no Ru. I don't know what that one is. I probably butchered that one.
I might start screaming here in a second because the June bug just flew past my head.
But it's it is June, so that does make sense.
Yeah,
I was gonna make a joke that it's not.
I felt the wind from its fucking wings, just like.
Ew.
Yeah, and that's why I was making that face.
Well, I'm glad it's June now. If it had been a couple days ago, it would have been a May bug.
Bro. No.
Kdog, you're canceled.
Yeah, we don't like you anymore.
This is my kind of content right here.
It's in his bio, guys.
Yeah, it's really jokes. If you don't like the dad jokes, then yep, we were.
We're still judging you though.
That's fine. You can judge me all you want. I have my Jesus sweater, so it's all good.
It's literally already happened before where they or a dive bombed me and I threw my controller at it. That happened like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
I threw my $200 Elite controller at it because it scared the shit out of me.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's fine.
Moving right along. Buy that if you like. In the news this week as well, we have Ninja. It is announced that I still love that picture because he just looks like kind of so awkward. Ninja, for the first time since 2018, is going to be hosting new Fortnite tournaments on his actual channel. They are going to be weekly tournaments. So he's going back to his bread and butter of Fortnite. It's going to be called Ninja Battles featuring Fortnite, which kind of makes sense. It's going to be streamed on his channel. It's going to be right now.
They canceled this week.
Huh?
He canceled this week.
Oh yeah, so yeah, the start of it. Okay. Yeah, so
it started
the 20 it started the 28th. Yeah, so it started, that was the first one.
He canceled this week because of everything that's going on.
Yeah, which is great. But you know, obviously since the start, that's why we're talking about it. This is his first tournament, like I said, since coming to Mixer. Overall $400,000 prize pool. Wow. Normally they would be weekly from at 3 p.m. One of the couple of things that I personally have that I haven't seen, it says that it's 60 of the best people in Fortnite. I'm curious if, and I don't know if anybody knows this, maybe chat or other people might know as well. Is there like a way to get in? Like, are they doing qualifiers like with like when they had the actual Fortnite league? Or yeah, that's I didn't know if it's invite.
Because he invited Jared FPS was in last week's, and like I saw on Twitter like a few people from Mixer in there, so I think it's invite only.
Okay. Yeah, and I couldn't find out for sure.
Invite only to the best people like on their respective platforms.
Yeah. I would assume that as well. That would be that. And they do say like it'll be streamed on if they're like content creators, you know, you go, if Tim the Tatman is playing in it, you can go to his stream, and of course it's okay that he's doing it, but the main stream for it is going to be on Ninja's channel at 3 p.m. normally. Kind of a recurring topic here, especially with everything, and I've said it before. I'm a firm believer that, you know, Mixer, because a lot of the other bigger streaming sites, you know, what has made them, especially like Twitch and all that, is the esports side of things. Personally, I think this is a good start and needs to happen more because Mixer needs esports. That's what helped Twitch grow. I'm hoping personally that this is the start of more of that. They kind of tried a little bit with Smite, but that was handled terribly on both sides of everything. As a Smite person, I know that very well. But do we see this as the beginning of something, or do we see this as just Ninja? Because when Ninja came over, he also said that he wanted to be able to do things that are less streaming and just, you know, be able to kind of, you know, less stream, be able to host things and be a kind of more of a person and a brand than a streamer. So do you think that this is just him doing him, or is this the platform reaching out and saying, hey?
I think it's both. Because this is what he originally wanted to do, and I'm sure that Mixer was like, okay, well, you said that you were going to do this, let's do this.
Yeah, he's been here since
almost a year.
Yeah, I would say like August.
It was around West.
Yeah, August, September. Yeah, because September was West. So yeah, about that time.
It was like right after. It was either right before West or right after. No, it was because they got rid of Sparks the week before West, and then West happened, and then like
right
a
week
week later he came.
Yeah, so it was like September. Yeah, that's
because
right.
The big joke was the reason why they got rid of Sparks
was
because so they could pay Ninja.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yay, West last year. Where we were right next door to Duke, by the way. By the way, I just actually referenced that the other night.
Last night.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's one of those things that probably was talked about originally when he came over, and now they're just finally rolling it out, especially with everything that's been going on and been said. I personally would like to see more of these kind of things from Mixer, you know, esports wise, to help the channel or help the brand grow. We'll see how this plays out. I hope that this brings enough people to the platform. The thing that I'm worried about is that they personally that they don't market it right or make it make it.
And Mixer is notorious for not marketing things the way that they should. Let's
Yeah.
be completely honest.
Yeah, and
Mixer
that's
is notorious for it.
That's my thing. I think I'm worried that there is going to be more draw to the personal streamers things on other channels than them saying, "Hey, come watch Fortnite," ninja battles on Mixer, and people are just going to go to the respective streamers. So,
yep. And not only that, but if a lot of the people that are streaming while it's happening, those people are going to stay where they are instead of coming to Mixer.
Coming to the official, the actual thing
and
of
I
it.
don't know if it's a rule or not that you can't stream while you're doing it.
Nope,
like,
it says specifically that you're able to stream on your respective platforms. So Tim the Tapman, Lupo, whoever's in it is able to be, stream on their respective platforms while they're doing it. Ninja is just the one hosting it. And also, I've never watched, and maybe some people in chat, maybe you guys could all say, I've never really watched Ninja as a shoutcaster. They do have other people. It is going to be cast by Bella TW and Monster Deface. I don't know who they are. I'm not a Fortnite person. I'm sorry. It is going to be cast by them. So it's like, is this going to be set up as an actual esports tournament? Or is it just going to be something that is featured on his channel? That's another thing, personally, that when I was reading it, and I didn't see last week's, so I don't know for sure. I should have pulled up the VOD, but I was running behind. So, and that's the thing. Like, is it going to be really set up like an esports tournament, or is it just hosted by him on his channel, and he goes and has a couple drinks while other people talk?
It has to do with Fortnite, so I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely honest.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
It'll just probably be one of those things where he hosts it, Mixer will put him on the.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, is it just going to be his name? And it's really, so it's like, if I personally think if they want to, if they're trying to do this as an esports thing, it needs to be built up as an esports thing, not just on his channel and somebody else is shoutcasting. Because that's what, everything that I've seen is what's going on. So.
Let's see. I'm going to kind of scroll through the bot a little bit.
Yeah, and see. Because that's the only thing, I'm worried about with it. I like the idea of having, this new tournament.
It's not him talking.
Yeah,
that's
no,
for sure.
it's shoutcasted by other people.
Yeah, it's shoutcast. I think that if he was shoutcasting it, it would be better, but...
That's kind of like my thing. I feel like I don't know how great he is as a shoutcaster, so maybe that's why he's not. But I think it's like...
Well, he did that. He did the Halo tournament when...
Yeah, the Mixer... Yeah.
And Mixer matchups with the Halo, and he was I watched that, and he was really good at it because he knows Halo,
and that's why I feel like it's weird for me.
He knows sport.
Yeah, that's why it's weird for me, and that's kind of what I was getting at there. Fun fact for all you guys tuning into the show, I know the answers to a lot of the questions that I pose. That's just my job as the host. Why isn't he shoutcasting it then? I get it, it's his tournament though. I get that he's hosting it, but that's kind of like just saying, brought to you by Capital One. All it is his name on the brand at this point. It's
if he was not, I don't know. It's not a double-edged sword, but it's like one of those weird things. I wish if he's gonna allow other people to stream it on their channels, then he should be shoutcasting it. And if he isn't gonna allow people to stream it on their channels and their respective platforms, then he should be. One or the other, not and I just scrolled through this VOD and he doesn't make an appearance at all.
And that's kind of like
not even for that week's winner does he make an appearance.
And that's kind of what I'm worried about. So it seems almost like it's brought to you by him. It's hosted by him. So it's going to be an actual esports thing, but yet they're not marketing. It doesn't feel like they're not making it out to be an actual esports thing. I don't know. It feels like it's in a state of limbo where they're just using the name, but they're not quite sure. It's weird. I don't know.
I mean, it has to do with Fortnite, so I don't actually care.
That's it. It is one of those things. Fortnite is, arguably one of the biggest games, so it comes up, we talk about it. But I am also another one of those people. I don't play Fortnite, so I respect it.
If it brings people to the platform, cool. If it doesn't, cool. Because Fortnite kids are horrible and they're mean and they're just little shits. So
Preach.
It is what it is.
Aphaeaa, you play Fortnite
play it
every once in a while, right?
Every once in a while, but maybe like once a month, if that anymore.
You're still more brave than we are. I mean,
Yeah.
especially as a female. Let's be honest. It's
It's bad. It gets
so
bad,
bad.
man. I have to like stop playing it because it gets so bad.
mhm.
Nope.
Even my mods are like, please end this madness.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I have a deal with my community. I'm not gonna say what it is, but I have a deal with them, and like 93% of my mods so that they will not be like the one of the. I'm not gonna say what the deal is, but it's if we get that, then we're playing Fortnite, and like 93% of my mods said that they're not showing up that day.
yeah.
I'm like, oh great, channel level 15.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Rip.
Yeah, you know, I'm the same way. Like Fortnite, I respect it. I've talked a lot about the good things out of it. It's just not for me, not my type of thing.
I just don't like the game. Like
Yeah.
I don't like the play style of the game. I like BRs. I love Apex. And I don't like the fact that when I'm shooting somebody, they turn into a fucking 60-story building. That
Yep.
It's not
Yeah.
about fucking gameplay or fucking gunplay. It's about building, and that's not.
Yeah, and it's I agree with Chad. It's community, and then it's also, you know, like you said, it's
the community is toxic as shit.
building drives me nuts because I'll be sitting there watching, and it's a 2-3 minute build battle, and I'm like, will somebody just fucking shoot somebody? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, and like the couple times, like, I'll play it every 2-3 months. I'll play it like once, like with a couple friends, and I'll be like, I fucking hate this game. But I'll like meme out on it the whole time. Like, it like, you know, maybe 3-4 times a year, I'll play it, and I'll meme out. And I'll be reminded, like, I like the gunplay. If they took out building, I think it would be fine.
Or give a mode where there is no building.
Yeah, and I would probably play it. I would go in and have fun. Or like very limited building or something like that. Like you can't stack. Like you could build a square. Like I remember the good old days when it first came out. I remember my first win in Fortnite with like day 2 of it coming out. I had my umbrella. I was so fucking stoked because I was one of the only people in the lobby that had an umbrella from winning Fortnite. And you know how I won? There was no building. It was literally a PUBG standoff. I was fucking on behind a tree, and I was poking out at somebody, and there was a ramp to the top of the mountain, and they were like behind the ramp, and we were like kind of peeking each other, and that was it. Like back when it first started. And now it's fucking build battles and all that, which it takes a whole lot of skill. I've said it 20,000 times. It's so much skill. It's just not for me. There is a huge section of it that is skill. I get it. I get that it's not easy. It's just not for me.
For me, it's the building is shitty, but like, and that's like 30% of it. The other 70% is the fucking community is toxic as shit.
And
when I can say, as somebody who used to play competitive Siege, and I'm a female, and the competitive Siege community is toxic as fuck, just as toxic. But I had more shit said to me, when I streamed Fortnite versus when I streamed Siege.
Yeah, because it's all 11-year-olds behind their fucking sitting there in mom's basement
and even
who
in competitive Siege as a female, it's less toxic than Fortnite. And that's something I never thought I would fucking say, but that's like
Siege is
and Siege is horribly toxic, but the Fortnite community that surrounds the game is way more toxic than Siege, especially competitive Siege as a female. On all 3 levels, the Fortnite community is still. You can combine all 3 of those levels in Siege, and Fortnite is still more fucking toxic.
And that's why I got upset. Like, I could tell when, like, the Valorant community was getting invaded by the Fortnite community, and I was just like, you know, the Fortnite streamers were coming over to play Valorant, and it got so fucking toxic. And I'm like, this is not. No, this is Counter-Strike. This is not Fortnite, you know? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Side note, before we go any further, I forgot to show these, and they're adorable. There were other pictures about the Sega Handheld, because we got off on a rant. Like, look at all of them. They could all fit. Look at them.
While you show those, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real
No,
quick.
you're good.
So bad.
Yeah, everybody gets their 30 seconds. It's okay. Look at all the.
Hold one.
Here's the big window, by the way, and so it makes it like 3 inches, because 3 inches matter.
They do.
instead of, you know, the 1.15 inch that it is normally. Yeah, and there's the right picture. I just forgot to show those earlier while we were talking about it.
I want to hold it so I can show you how little my hand actually is.
Guys appreciate girls like you, Charlie. We really do. We really do.
Sure. Sure.
Ooh, look at that snazzy be right back thing going on.
Dude, that almost put me into a seizure. I thought something broke. I was like,
That was a snazzy thing. Look at it go. Look at it go, guys.
oh god. Oh, it's back. Ugh. I think it's because you have it just like so small.
Yeah, because
that it's,
because it takes up her whole screen, but I have just because she's just in her
Yeah.
like just chatting screen, so I have it cut down.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the center of it as opposed to the whole scene. Yeah.
I dig
Interesting.
it.
But yeah, Chad, I think Chad has a general feeling about the same. Fortnite, you know, kind of getting off talk about Fortnite, but the ninja battles, I'm curious over the next couple weeks to see how this really works. I really hope that it works and they embrace it as an esports thing and make it work. But I'm worried that it's just, you know, brought to you by Ninja, and like you said during the VOD, he's just not there and it's just not a thing. Like if they're using him, I feel like, you know,
put him in there.
you make
And
a
you know what? He could be playing.
yeah, and you know, if he's playing, that's fine. You know, that's I don't
very
know.
Well could be playing. And that could be why he's not.
Yeah, he's not shoutcasting or whatever.
Yeah, that could be Vader. What?
Puppy.
I don't have food. I don't have food.
So
Okay, you just want love. And he very well could just be. He could be playing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah, so we'll see. Obviously, this was just the first week of it. Second week, canceled due to everything, just like we were talking about with Call of Duty and all of that. So they're postponing it. We'll see how it plays out over the next couple of weeks. But if you are interested, Fortnite battles, Fridays, 3 p.m. 3 p.m. on Ninja's channel. Had to check back to my notes. So
Vader.
we'll see. I think that if they build it and build it right, build an esports scene, because I've said for a while a lot of the reason that some of the other platforms has been built around the esports side of things. I think that they need to go all in and just, as much as I hate to say it, Fortnite is big on the platform. Just knuckle up and just fucking do it. Bring Fortnite esports. Bring, you know, Ninja. Make it an esports thing and just do it. Don't half-ass it. Just fucking. As much as I don't want Fortnite to be the main thing on the platform, it already kind of is a lot of the time. So just fucking, let's just do it and be done with it, you know, and get some more people over on Mixer, you know. But
Do y'all see him?
see who? Oh, puppy. Hi, puppy.
Yeah. Vader,
I see
come
the tail. I see the tail wagging.
here. Hold on. Come here.
I saw like one little like wiggle.
Oh, there he is.
Hi, puppy. I just want to pet him.
Puppers.
And then he'll walk around my chair. Vader, come here. I don't have food up here. There's no food.
But mom.
He thinks I'm lying. Baby, there's no food. And now he's gone.
But mom. All right. Moving right along. Also something announced this week, and finishing up, I think, the last section of our news goodness before we switch into more kind of gaming news. League of Legends actually rolled something out this week, starting with their esports side of things. Speaking of esports, which is the equivalent of kind of like stadium signage in their arenas. So in the esports side of thing, it's called like SR Arena banners. It will allow League of Legends esports leagues to customize how viewers see the Rift, so see the map. It's only visible to spectators, which is kind of cool. So like you see the image there, that's the only image that I have. It's only visible to spectators, but their quote is, "Our aspiration is to create an environment that exudes the energy found in traditional sports, and will continue to work towards that goal." So pretty much, they just want to give sponsors an opportunity to get into esports more.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Esports is such an underrated Like these people train
it's
just as
there.
much as regular athletes do.
Yeah, and it's
right?
getting
And
it's definitely getting bigger. It's definitely over the past 10 years we've seen it grow and all that. I think this is, like I like it also. It's a good way to start bringing sponsors into esports. I'm curious personally, like we see that image there. That's really the only image I have of it right now. I'm curious as somebody who has also played League of Legends. Like Smite has done something like this before, where they have banners in game, but it's visible to everybody. You had banners like in your core area, but also Smite is like a third person, where you would have this perspective that you see below, whereas League is the over the top view. So I'm wondering where these banners exactly are going to be and how they're going to look in game, because this is not an in game really look. This is not how it's going to look when you're watching esports. This is just a 3D rendering of what it could be. So it's like, so you're at the tier 1, and obviously it must be off in the jungle or something like that. Like it's weird that this is the promotional footage that they gave for it, kind of for like just an example, because this isn't how it will look, because it's only visible to spectators, which is good because it won't fuck up the end game stuff. When you're in spectator mode, it's the only time you see it. But I'm very curious how it's actually going to look from a top-down thing. Like where on the Rift is it going to be? Like how is it really going to look,
I mean, I think they'll do Legends, so
I used to play it, but it could be.
I mean, I've seen gameplay of it. I've just never personally like taken the time to actually look at the map or like gameplay like in a whole match. So
like if I pull up, for those of you guys who don't know, and I think chat was getting on something that I was about to talk to next, is I think that's a good thing that these sponsors are in there, and like we said, I think that that will only drive esports bigger and bigger, and try and get these sponsors backed in there as well. We've seen that
people are going to be making more money, and it's going to be seen as an actual
sport,
not a job, but like sport, and just as much as I don't know, some football team that I don't actually give a shit about. Like it's such a profession. Thank you. That's the word. It's going to be, because it's playing esports as a profession is still so taboo in our society that with this, it means that people are going to be able to take it more seriously. They're going to be like, oh, well, these people are taking it seriously. Like this company is taking it seriously, and that means more people in our industry are going to be making more money.
So I'm just pulling this up. Like this is obviously not accurate like right now. I know it's not, but it gives you an idea for like you, Aphaeaa, and all that, like what I'm kind of talking about here. Like, so you have the banners. I'm assuming that the banners would be kind of like right here. Like some people said that they're in lane. I assume they would kind of be like right here on the corner from like the 3D rendering, like from the top down kind of thing. Like this isn't like the actual, this is Rift, but this is I just to give an idea, I assume like maybe like you would have that MasterCard thing. Oh, I think I already closed the image, but like I assume that it would be like right there, like that's what I assume. And if it's only available to spectators, that's great. It is interesting also that to think about the computational, just the design element of having that only visible to spectator mode is also interesting in and of itself, that we've never seen before, I don't think, where certain things, in-game elements, not just okay, you can see everybody, but adding a new element, something that's in the game, just in the map, that's only visible to spectator mode. I'm curious, honestly, if that's going to affect gameplay. They say it's not, but is that sign actually there, just not visible to the players? Because then that might cause clipping. Then that might cause, some kind of interaction that you don't intend. If it's there but not, if it's just not visible. I'm curious how they have it coded. Like, is it just a pop-up? Is it, I don't know. This is my nerdy side of thing. Like, I'm curious how they have it, personally.
I mean, at the end of the day, for me, if it's getting money to esports organizations and putting gaming on the map as an actual profession, I don't give a shit how the fuck they do it.
I agree. That's the nerdy side of me coming out. I'm curious, like, you know, if that's going to actually affect. It says it's not going to affect the gameplay because it's only available during in spectator mode. It's only visible during that. But
Yeah.
I'm curious how
You're
they're
curious
doing
on
that.
how it's,
Yeah, like I
how
want to
it's
know
gonna
like
look
how
and-
it's working because that's just me. To catch up, I think chat said something also I wanted to bring up again. Oh yeah, like MPP said, I agree. I think it can only benefit esports overall. Personally, I agree. I think that, you know, bringing sponsors in is something that's core to sports. Well, you know, whether you agree or disagree, it is a thing. So the fact that you're bringing into the biggest esports scene, the fact to add sponsors in game where they can have their own commercials, their own signage, just like people buy that sign on the, you know, the side of the arena, so that way you see it in the backdrop while you're watching.
Yep.
It can only help.
And they pay a shit ton of money to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
They pay a lot of freaking money. Like, think of the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
How much money it costs to put that, just put a sign.
Mhm.
And then the commercials during a Super Bowl, that's what, hundreds of thousands of dollars at minimum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for a tiny
That's-
little one.
Yeah. And even if, like, right now it's probably not going to cost as much money as like a sign or a commercial during the Super Bowl, but eventually it can get there.
Yeah. I mean, if it keeps going up and up,
Yeah.
we know that this is the biggest esports scene.
Mm-hmm.
It, you know, we'll see who gets in on the ground floor. We'll see how it plays out. But I would like to see, and like I said, Smite has kind of done something like this before, but it's never been for a
Yeah.
sponsor side. They had a thing where you could just kind of like rep the teams that you wanted, and there were banners in your own side of the map. But it could easily, I don't understand. I said that before. I think I said it back when I was playing Smite. Like, this is a perfect opportunity to have
Yeah.
during esports, like those banners. Like, I never understood why they didn't do it.
Smite has a good community for their esports. I mean,
Yeah.
I know with Paladins has esports as well. I think I could be definitely wrong on that. But I know
They do.
On Mixer, the community for that is just Paladins is an alert community. I don't care what anybody says. It's an alert community because of the Mixer points.
Yep.
That's why 24/7 was such an issue, and that's personally why I've stopped playing Paladins. You get the same people who get
That
those
was
same
the
views.
start of the 24/7.
Yep. Paladins and
Paladin
Smite.
and
Paladins,
CFD.
Smite, Sea of Thieves, and Forza.
For the start of it.
Yep.
Forza was the other one
And
because they had the
then-
Microsoft points.
Mm-hmm.
But Smite actually, I watch Smite streams all the time. I'm a big fan of Smite, given I don't play it on stream, but I do enjoy Smite and having a sponsor.
Dude, the
thing like
esports
that
on
would
it
benefit.
was that's why I prefaced it earlier when we were talking about the esports side of it was, I think we were talking about the Ninja thing with the esports. I just really wish Mixer had handled it better. Now they're across all
Yeah.
platforms. They had it, but like the Smite's esports is decently large, and if it would have been handled better, like I love watching the World Championships. I
Yep.
love. I mean, and I play the game, but you know the commentation, like it's like I enjoy watching a Smite World Championship more than League of Legends. Like I like the third person. I like watching it and seeing what's going on when they zoom in. But you know it could have been handled so much better. But yeah, so Smite could easily, you know, the next territory that could easily adapt to this.
Yep.
You just told the puppy you did not have food. That sounds like food. I say all I hear is like, and then I look over. Yep,
got the
you
shit eating
just
grin.
told pup you did not have food. You
I
liar!
had donut holes on my desk. I'm hungry.
How dare you? How dare you? So, but yeah, it will be interesting to see how not only League of Legends this plays out with sponsorships for their World Series, but how
Yeah.
even other platforms bring those into, you know, their games as well. If this works out for them, obviously League of Legends is kind of one of those that sets a standard for esports. So if this does work and does seem to be a thing, we're going to see that adopted in Siege. We're going to see that adopted in Fortnite. And there's going to be signs popping up with sponsorships, which I'm kind of okay with. Like, you know.
It'd be interesting to see how they do it on
Yeah.
Siege. If it
Yeah.
gets there, it'd be really interesting.
Well, I'm just saying, yeah, just like on a wall, a banner or something like that, you know, as you're going around the map.
You don't really have banners, but like
A sign
there's
or
like
something.
pictures on the fucking walls.
That's what I'm saying, like, instead of that
like,
picture-
random fucking dogs eating or whatever.
Yeah.
It could be.
It'll be like a MasterCard logo, you know, like in
Yeah.
that, you know, it'll be, you know, that picture instead of the dogs, it'll be a picture with an Audi symbol on it, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Destroy it with my reinforcement.
Yeah, no, it'll be
Any company I don't like, you're getting destroyed.
I guarantee you though, for money wise during tournaments, they're gonna put those in places that cannot be destroyed because they don't
Yeah.
want that to happen. They're gonna be
I'll
like, this
shoot
is
it.
gonna be a thing, and
I'll
it's
shoot
gonna
it.
it's gonna be an intangible fucking object, you know,
Yeah.
can't do
shoot it.
anything. Yep.
Dude, if this fucking June bug does not leave me the fuck alone.
I'm sorry. Tell Vader to go after it.
He's afraid of them. What do you... It's a 180-pound dog afraid of a frog and June bugs. You really think he's gonna do?
All of the above. So that's the end of the news segment for the show, guys, for all the things popped up in the news. This week, obviously, things happening, so maybe not as much, maybe more. It's always interesting to see how much news we have. Moving on into gaming goodness.
Can I pee first?
You can pee while I talk. It's okay. Everybody gets their 30 seconds.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Outriders came out with more information. We did talk about this briefly last week on the show because it was last Thursday. I have a lot of information here. We'll kind of watch a couple things and talk about it as we go through it. If you guys have not seen, I'm personally really excited for Outriders, and especially when Charlie gets back, I'm gonna be curious her talks about it. I don't want to show like the full video. It's a half hour, so what they're doing is a 30-minute monthly debut leading up to the game, where a monthly series of info about the game. So the first one came out last Thursday. Has a little bit of gameplay and story to start. I have the link up in the Discord section on there for you guys, for the web show articles section, along with, once again, if you want to ask any questions that we're not referencing, you can put them there. A little bit of information. I'm just going to kind of roll through some of the main points of that 30 minutes. I can do that too.
They're making fun of me because how fast you can type.
Yeah. Tap, tap, tap. Well, you also have a very clicky keyboard.
Listen, I have my input sensitivity as high as I can get it without it like making my voice go away, and I have RTX audio driver on. I do not know why.
Well, it's because you have a click. Different keyboards are more clicky than others. That's why.
I need a new keyboard. That's just
Well, you know,
there.
some people like the clickiness. Some people like clicking.
I have had a few people come and be like, I'm here for the ASM. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, some people like the clicky tappiness. I honestly, if I'm playing like a game like a BR and all I hear is you pressing WASD over and over and clicking, drives me fucking nuts. I cannot stand it.
I do not envy.
But yeah, I have like the speed keys, which are, kind of clicky, but also my mic is a little more directional and things like that. So, but anyways, Outriders, clickety, clickety, clickety clack. Yeah, just do a typing stream. Gameplay and story. One of the things that I find amusing is that, so the gameplay that they went through and kind of showed at the beginning was of one of their classes, which is the Pyromancer. The story takes place... Well, actually, I want to wait for Charlie now because I think it's amusing. Because she's a huge Destiny person. Did you ever play Destiny, Aphaeaa?
I played the beta when first Destiny came out. I never bought the full game, though.
Oh.
I did like it. I just was in a spot I couldn't buy it.
Everybody that has ever been in my stream knows that I have a... Not a love-hate relationship. I just have a trepidation with Destiny because I want it to be something it's not. I like Destiny.
It's a great game, but it could be better.
I want it to be.
Opinion.
I've always wanted how it was originally built, and it's like it teeters on the cusp of being a great game to me, if it just actually embraced the RPG elements that it just pretends to have. Yay, she's back. And that's why I've always kind of had an issue with it. Like, I think it wants to be kind of like an RPG, but it's not, and it drives me nuts, which is why I'm so fucking excited about this game. But now that Charlie's back, I can talk a little more.
I asked food. I lied.
You're good. You're good.
I went to get food.
So yeah, I figure I want to tell you because there are a lot of like similarities, and I want you to be here because of like Destiny similarities and all that. So, towards this or towards Destiny?
Destiny.
Okay, I'm like the yes doesn't answer the question. I don't know which one.
Food.
Yeah. So we did that. We talked about it last Thursday. It's coming to that. So they talked about the first mission that they kind of showed during this 30-minute episode, and it's that it has the pyromancer, like I was starting to say. It takes place in an area, and it's right outside an area called the First City, which I think is great because it's, you know, kind of a slap in the face towards Destiny's Last City. I find that hilarious. But one of the things, if you watch this and the gameplay footage of it, a lot of people have said that it's kind of like Destiny-like, and there are a lot of things, but I think it's like Destiny mixed with other elements. So I just have notes from the video and things like that. Like I have like almost 2 pages, kind of give you guys a rundown. If you want to watch the full 30-minute thing, I wasn't going to do that during stream. I do have like one picture and one kind of outing of one of the things that I want to point out. But one of the things I noticed from it when it was walking through the gameplay and the footage that they have shown of the game so far for Outriders, while they were doing the mission, they were picking up crafting materials. So crafting is going to be a thing, being able to make different materials. There were dialogue options that you could take, which it doesn't show if they really have an impact. Like, I'm not sure if it has like a Fallout impact of who like you side with, but there are different dialogue choices. You know, might be Mass Effect. You know, we'll see how well they play into the story and things like that. You know, maybe have a karma and things like that. One of the things that they did say with it is also they have an in-game glossary that they released during it because they don't want us to have to work to enjoy the game, which is something that I love because I think was Destiny one of the first ones that they had the lore, but you had to go to like the website or like the app to figure out the lore. Wasn't that one with Destiny 1 or...
Yeah, but they also had it in game too. You just had to maneuver through menus and shit like that. But there was still
like D1, I remember. Yeah, like D1, I think had that where you had to like go to the app, and that drove me like nuts. And there's other games that have done that. It's like you have to go to the companion app or the website to understand this. I'm like, why is this not all in game? Like it drives me fucking nuts. Like I get you're trying to push your third party thing, but like. That just drives me nuts that I have to stop what I'm doing to go to a third source, a third party source, a secondary source, however you want to call it, to understand what's going on. Drives me fucking nuts. So they have an in-game glossary. Drop in and out co-op. So I assume it looked similar to Destiny-ish where you can just load in and be like, hey, they're running this mission. Let's fucking go. You know, not the hardcore raids, but like the, you know, the world ones. It seemed like that kind of style where it's drop in and out. It did. So one of the things to talk about and was in there is that it has like a Diablo 3 style difficulty setting. So what that means is that there's like world tiers. So you play through it like the first time or whatever, or maybe not even the first time, but you're playing the game and you're on world tier 1. As you get stronger, if you want to, you will unlock different world tiers that will have harder enemies, etc., but also better loot. And you have to have certain requirements and experience to access these world tiers. So as you're going through, it goes all the way up to world tier 15. But it is like, it reminded me of Diablo, that kind of difficulty, the way that it was.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, it's like the more experience you have, the more that you unlock. The thing that I really like about it is that when you die, you actually lose experience in regards to these world tiers. So these world tiers are relative to how good you are playing in the game. So if you are world tier 4 and you're grinding whatever, but you keep dying, you're going to lose it. You won't regress a world tier, but your experience in that world tier will not keep exceeding. It's actually going to go down, so it won't let you get to world tier 5. Like it's an isolated experience from your character. So it won't let you, if you keep dying, you're not able to access world tier 5 until you play long enough without dying on world tier 4.
That's good.
Which I think is really
like
cool.
that.
Yeah, like you can't just XP grind and get there and then you're dying a bunch. Like you have to earn the right without dying to access the next difficulty level. I think that was a takeaway that I had for it.
Yeah.
Very
that
similar
concept.
RPG-wise to armor and weapons. 5 different armor types, 3 weapons. You know, same, pretty much kind of the same loadout as Destiny has. The armor and weapons, though, like this is why I'm excited about this game more than, like this is what Destiny to me should have been, and this is why I was referencing that before.
Okay, but we said that when Anthem came out, and look what happened there. So don't
Well,
say
it
that.
failed. It failed miserably. I'm just hopeful. Like and it did not come out to and was not what it was promised to be. So this I'm hoping, you know, everything I say, like, but this has more of those RPG elements. So like the armor and weapons and all that, like they have perks and everything. So you have things like lifesteal, you have weakening, you have AoE damage. Like it's a very much like I'm getting like more Diablo vibes than anything in like the perks and things like that. There's armor sets that have perks that relate to your character and character buffs. Like I'm getting like the loot, the RPG size. It's the more that I'm seeing about this game, it's Destiny mixed with Diablo. Like that's kind of what I'm seeing, because it's like the armor, like the weapon perks, having lifesteal, armor set bonuses. Like that's very much a Diablo thing. Having a full,
very Diablo.
you know, having the perks that give also like items and things like that. I also like I have here. So then they have an actual skill tree, and this is one of the things I pulled out. You're good.
I'm actually not sorry. I'm actually not sorry, but I'm sorry.
Oh, that reminds me. I still have chicken nuggets.
I just closed and reopened OBS. So
I was eating ribs and potato salad and green beans.
You know,
am I
now
back?
you're back.
I'm back.
Yep.
Yay! I'm back. I just closed and reopened OBS. On my side, it definitely still said live the whole time, 110%. So, yay, Mixer. Anyways, what I was starting to say. Awesome, cool. So they have actual like skill trees. So this is like one of the classes, like the Trickster class, which is like a more melee. I was about to get into the different classes. But you have actual like full different skill trees that you can get into. And I really like that as well. Like it seems like they're embracing the RPG element side of things. And I think that's really cool. Having a unique skill tree and being able to take different abilities and all that is really cool. Like you have 3 different branches mainly, but even in each branch, you can kind of like offset a little bit, it looks like, on the skill tree. So like you can maybe do a couple here and then go down and go across. If you really want this ultimate, I don't know if that's like what they're calling it, like the ultimate, but it looks like you'll be able to kind of do like half and half maybe if you want, kind of like cross, you know, cross class a little bit and do that rather than like one. And that way that's pretty cool, I think, as well. So it seems like they're embracing that RPG side of things. I'm really hoping I didn't check this scene. Is everything still good here? Yep, cool, awesome. But that's, hold on, I gotta catch up the slideshow. Wait. There we go. We're up to date now. The 4 classes that they have announced for it: Pyromancer, Trickster, Devastator are the 3. Well, the 3 that they announced. There's 4 classes at launch. Those are 3 they've announced. From people looking at all their videos, they think that the 4th class is going to be Technomancer. Which sounds also amazing. Each class has 8 abilities that they can equip 3 at a time. So even that, like, you have a lot of spells, abilities, you know, you have the skill tree. Like, I don't know, like, I'm really excited. Charlie, as a former Destiny person, is this like something that you like, are excited for, or you think that it's, we're gonna forget Anthem ever happened? We're gonna forget about Anthem.
I'll try it. Or what I'll probably do is I'll either try it myself or I'll wait for people wait for people to stream it, and see if it's something that I'd be interested in. And like it might be a combination of both.
Because it's kind of great that you're on here.
I'm so let down for like Anthem was such a fucking letdown, and everybody's like, this is what Destiny should have been. And so saying like maybe this will be the new Destiny, or this is what Destiny should have been, it just like it turns me off.
Yeah.
Like that makes me not even want to play it because it was such a fucking letdown.
Mm-hmm.
Because Anthem was such a fucking letdown.
That's how ESO is with me.
Mm-hmm.
I am obsessed with ESO. And then once it came out, I hated the playstyle. But then Blast Unleashed dropped, which I'm still heartbroken that there's no like big community for Blast Unleashed. Like I was really hoping there would be, because Blast Unleashed is fucking amazing.
I can't stand the combat style, but that's my own personal preference on MMOs. I hate those.
I love it.
I hate that combat chain of pressing a button to pressing a button to pressing a button to pressing it. Like I'm an old school WoW player where it's like if I want to cast this ability, let me press 4. Like I hate the combat in it. Drives me fucking nuts.
I like the complex of it. Like complex.
Drives me nuts. If it has a cooldown, if it has a channel time. No, like Bless Unleashed, like they had that whole like thing where you had to press certain buttons. Like if you wanted to get to fire into your big ass fireball spell, you had to press 17 buttons to get there because you cast like small starter spells to get there. It's like X, B, X, Y, A, X, B, and now I can cast a fireball. Like, it just drives me fucking nuts. I mean, I'm perfectly happy as an old school WoW player. Okay, it's a 5-second channel time. That's fine. I hit 4, I charge up for 5 seconds, and then I fire the thing. Like, I would much rather that. Like, the combat just drove me fucking nuts, and I couldn't like it. It just wasn't for me.
I love it. I have so much fun with it. I always feel like a hard ass sometimes. I'm just like, ooh, just did that.
Yeah, see, Blessed Unleashed was like, I watched people stream it, and I was just like,
Yeah, I tried it for about 2 hours, and I was like, not for me. Not
at the start of it, I was like, but the further you get into it, it gets better.
Yeah. It's just, I knew the combat. I've played other games like that. I don't remember which other ones there were, but that combat style is not the first time first game that's done that.
Sounds so toxic. Like that would piss me off, and I'd never play it again just because it like I already know myself well enough to know like that would just piss me off.
Yeah, the combat style, and Warlock's here. He knows, he was there for it. Like that combat style is not for me, not my type of MMO
not
and
for
all
me
that.
Either.
But
That's too annoying.
Yeah.
Like Mortal Kombat.
But this game,
I Smash in Mortal Kombat, so I can't relate.
It's I think this, more so this, I think just purely putting out there. That's why I think that Charlie being on here is actually a great thing for this web show, because this is probably the biggest game news this week besides Valorant. But everything that I saw from this show is more than anything else. It's Destiny mixed with Diablo, and that's more what I'm seeing from it. Oh, that's great. I'm sorry.
The first time I looked over to chat,
I know, it's like that was so great. I just like looked over first time too. It's like I'm in the middle of a thing and it's like, Nah, that's $7.99 on the OnlyFans. You gotta subscribe.
I don't like compare. I hate it when people compare other games to games. Like I fucking hate it. You do not realize how many times a fucking stream I'm playing Valorant. Oh, so how is the new Overwatch? This fucking has nothing to do with fucking Overwatch.
Yeah. Oh,
not last night. Yeah, no, it was last night. I was playing with Bo, and like in every fucking 20 minutes it was, so how's Overwatch? How is this new Overwatch? And CSGO versus Overwatch, or and it's like literally every 20 minutes I'm getting this question. I'm like, dude, it has literally nothing to fucking do with Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's more a combination of CSGO and Siege, if you really want to know a fucking combination.
Yeah.
Oh, well, isn't this the new Overwatch? No, motherfucker. The only thing it fucking looks like Overwatch, and that's it.
Yeah, it's CSGO plus Siege. It just has art style of Overwatch. Like the abilities look Overwatch.
Absolute ape shit on somebody one day They're just I'm just gonna be minding my own business.
You
and
say
one day
that
they're
like
just
you
gonna come
haven't
in.
before. Like, I mean, you say that like it's like not a weekly thing when
Not
you
about
go
this,
off on
no.
somebody.
Not about this though. Not about Overwatch. Like I had about them saying, "Oh, well, this is the new Overwatch." Like I have not gone off about that. One day I am going to just fucking go ape shit about it.
Gotcha. So
That's how Paladins is all the time.
No, I agree. I understand what you're saying. I say it every once in a while, like jokingly. So, but I know what you're. Yeah.
It's more like when you're trying to explain it, I guess. But when somebody just is just like, "Oh, the Vader, stop!" Oh, it's Zoe. My baby.
oh, it's a new one. It's a different animal.
Vader, it's fine.
Yeah, that's Zoe.
So yeah, no, I'm not saying like in this. Just everything that I've seen so far looks like it's a combination. I'm not comparing it to them. I know that's not what Charlie was saying, but this looks from the images I've seen so far from the game, and from this first 30 minutes,
like
it looks Destiny plus Diablo-ish. For easiest way to describe it, like it are those RPG elements that I've always been missing from Destiny. I'm not saying that it compares to, whereas Anthem, it definitely was like, hey, this is the new Destiny, and that's what it was billed out to be. I don't think this is billing itself out to even be that. It seems to be its own thing, but it seems to be like this might be similarities in like game styles if you want an idea what the game is so far from what I've seen. But I'm seeing a lot of like Diablo RPG elements, which I really, really like. I love the fact that there's a skill tree. I love the fact that there's like items that make a difference with lifesteal and armor sets and things like that. You know, I'm really excited. So monthly videos for Outriders up until release. This first one obviously was last Thursday. Next one, don't have a date for it. I assume it's at the end of June. I'm just gonna go out. I'll talk about it on the show in 3.5 weeks whenever it comes out.
I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I love games with
Every
different
time I
classes.
watch the video, I'm excited. Like the launch video, I get so fucking excited. Like we watched it again last week before it happened, like the 3-minute like trailer for it, and it's so fucking awesome. I love just the more I see about this game, the more it excites me. Oh, I went the wrong way in my notes. Hold on. What's next? Oh, Baldur's Gate. What?
I was gonna. I'll just type it because he's hearing an echo, so he needs to mute the other streams, and that's my dog's going insane.
Yeah, if you have multiple streams with the audio, make sure you mute all but one. Baldur's Gate 3. Obviously, still no release date or anything like that, but they did come out on their Twitter this week with a little kind of teaser thing for all of us who are excited for it. New footage.
That looks good.
Yeah, and I'm excited. It's in June 6th. We'll have more information. This is what they talk. They literally launched this and said June 6th we start the road to Baldur's Gate 3.
That looks good. I'm not gonna give you a road. Stop.
Enjoy poking holes in people, do ya?
It's time for some old-fashioned hero work.
This ain't your standard.
I like the little dancing person.
Right?
I was just
If
about
we
to
stay
say.
here, we
That's
die.
me.
So just a little teaser trailer. Join us on the road to Baldur's Gate starting June 6th. So we'll get more information. Hold on, wait. Where's our favorite person? Where'd he go? Nope. They're like right here, right? I think.
If we stay
Nope.
here, we
A little
die.
bit before that.
There we go.
This ain't your standard
That's
dungeon
me.
dive, right?
I'm gonna clip that for you, Charlie, from this video, and then you can have it as like a notification or something like that.
Yes.
Clickety
please.
clickety clack.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. My keyboard is.
It's
worse.
loud.
So yeah, I've talked about it before. Baldur's Gate, when we watched, and the news from last time it got debuted, and they had the whole hour and a half, or the hour-long gameplay reveal. We talked about it on the show. This is the first time they've talked about it since then. So teaser, June 6th, Saturday. I'm looking at the date, and it's June 4th, but it's after midnight for me. So Saturday, we'll have a little bit more information, hopefully some more stuff. Of course, this is by Larian Studios, the same people that made Divinity as well. That's why it looks kind of similar. the coolest thing that I saw from that video that makes me excited, obviously Larian is very good about interacting different spells, different environmental actions, things like that. If you noticed on that video, there was that one person that cast a spell against like the environment, like the statue, and the statue came down and wrecked them. And I'm like, destructible environment that plays in, like that's the next step I think for Larian. And they're good at also interacting with your environment as is. If you have a destructible environment like that where you can, you know, if they're really bringing that in even more so, I'm really excited. So
that looks interesting.
You have to, you know, it's very much in the style. If you didn't play like the Divinity games, it's very much in that style. So it's kind of like a mix of Divinity with, you know, Baldurs Gate. Obviously, they have the Baldurs Gate, you know, license. They're working on bringing that back. Huge old school fan of Baldurs Gate. All those games, I think, came out way before Aphaea's time. Not really, but I'm making fun of her for being young.
Not that young, okay? Listen.
No,
Do
Baldurs...
you know what an original Game Boy is without the color?
Yes, you had to attach the little light to it to see it to play.
I still,
Did you
I had
ever
one of those.
play one?
Yeah, I had one.
First generation?
She was like 4. Or yeah, she was a hipster that got one when she was older.
Yeah,
I've had a shit ton of consoles growing up.
I like your sweatshirt, by the way, Aphaeaa.
Oh, thanks. I wonder where I got it.
I don't know. It's a nice sweatshirt. Just a wee lad. But yeah, so this obviously for those of us that remember Baldur's Gate, great games were coming out way back in the day. Baldur's Gate Shadows of Am, Baldur's Gate 2.
My mom played that.
Yeah, the Baldur's Gate goes back. We've talked about a lot, like Warlock. You know, I know he's lurking out there. He's one of the ones that those old what was it? Planescape, Torment, all those old top-down RPG games that it was just as much text as anything else, the turn-based kind of thing. So we'll see how this plays out. Obviously, you know, they're kind of doing the brand a little bit more than the original game. There were a couple things. I think it is the combat is going to be a little different than the old school games, but you know, they're making a modern version of it, so I'm hoping it does well. Looking forward to seeing what comes out this Saturday. We'll talk about it on the web show this week coming up. I'll give, just like with Outriders, I'll give a little rundown of what they talked about and, you know, what we can look forward to moving forward with Baldur's Gate, because I am excited. That being said, moving on to the last thing. Oh, wait, no, second to last thing. I was like, wait, my notes were backwards. I didn't put a note in here. Tarkov. Where did my notes go? Oh, I didn't have a tab over for it. Tarkov, which is Charlie's favorite game. I actually have clips of playing. Yeah. Tarkov. Aphaeaa, have you ever played Tarkov?
No, but my friends are dying to get me to play it. I watched Shroud play it a few times. I've watched a couple people.
If you have anxiety,
not my gameplay, not my gameplay
if you have
at all.
anxiety, don't play it. It's so terrifying. That game is so fucking terrifying.
It's such an intense experience, and it just, it's so insane.
I like it, but if you have anxiety, don't fucking play that game.
Oh yeah, no, it is so intense. That feeling, what I always describe it as, is that feeling of when you're in that final 3 scenario in a BR and you're like solo and it's like quads or something like that, and and you're trying to survive, and that anxious feeling, that multiply that by like 5 and make that for a whole 45 minutes for every raid.
Yeah.
Because that's literally what Tarkov is, especially if you're solo, because every noise, every little tiny thing, you're just like, fuck, like what is it? Like, because you can die. It's a first person simulator. I don't want to I always describe it as a first person. It's not a first person shooter. It's a first person simulator. You could go in decked out with high-end gear, whatever. Somebody with a lowly pistol, some AI character with a lowly pistol can get a headshot off and they kill you. Like every raid. And so if you're not familiar with it, every raid that you go in, you load in with like 10 other people. That's where like the BR is. It's totally random. You load in with like 10 other people. No idea what loadouts they have. You have the AI around as well. but every raid, whatever you bring in, you can lose. It's permadeath thing. You can lose it all. So whatever you bring in, you could lose. You could come in with $1 million worth of stuff, get tapped, and you will never see it again. It is insane, and you're nervous because then there's those missions and all that where you're trying to do a quest and you're trying to get out with a certain piece of gear, and you hear shots like to your left, and you're like, fuck. You know, it's like I just want to get out and survive.
It's terrifying. It's very anxiety. Like I just have flat out anxiety whenever I play it. I still like the game, but
there have been times that, my stream has seen me playing it, especially when I'm playing solo, that I have sat in a corner peeking an edge because I've heard a noise for probably like 5 minutes, because that's what you have to. The more patient person wins in Tarkov. If I hear something and I'm like, fuck, I heard something, and I know I heard something, I'll just sit there and I'll peek the edge. And then, the more patient person wins. So they'll come around the corner looking for me, and I one-tap them. And they're back to lobby. Like, it is so... But you're sitting there that whole 5 minutes going, did I actually hear something? I'm not sure. Did they move away? Are they still there? I don't know what's going on. Fuck, I might die. Like, all this is in your head for 5 minutes as you're just, like, sitting there just waiting to see... And you might have just, like, heard rain. You don't fucking know.
God, the rain in that game is awful.
It's so bad. Yeah, exactly. And you're just not sure. You're just sitting there, like, fucking shaking. I have never been so anxious playing a game as this. But the reason we're bringing it up, obviously, it did wipe this past week. So what that means is everybody who is in the game, your characters reset back to 0. So all of the gear that you had found, everything is back to fresh. Your character progression, which as you play the game and play your main character more, you do get more endurance. You can run further. There's stamina in game. There is how fast you heal. There's a lot of different things that come into the simulator. Pretty much, it kind of simulates the more work you do, like, kind of that RPG element where your endurance gets built up, your being able to loot gets built up, all that stuff. So all that was reset this week. All a fresh start. A lot of different changes for it if you guys are interested in Tarkov. The biggest ones, besides like the tiny little ones, is that, for those of you that have played before, the flea market is now a found in raid only kind of selling environment. So what that means, if you're not familiar, is flea market just kind of like you had like a black market or an auction house or things like that in other games, WoW, etc., where players could sell things that they found. It was being taken over by bots and things like that were just auto buying, and people were writing scripts to auto buy and sell items that were high dollar and just buying and selling them for like cheaper and all, and it was ruining the in-game economy. So now they have it. So if you buy something from like the auction house, you can't resell it. You have to sell something on the flea market, the black market, whatever you want to call it. It is technically the flea market. You have to have found it in raid. So that is probably the biggest change that launches with this wipe. And I think it's great because the in-game economy was being ruined by bots just undercutting each other to make money. And they were just buying and selling and reselling and listing for lower or higher or whatever. And it was insane. So biggest thing.
I never got into it as much as you did, but I mean, I still enjoy the game.
There's a clip of Charlie almost shooting me because she accidentally left-clicked. I sent her, like, my side of it. She never made anything. We were in a raid together. And so, for those guys that have never played the game, there's no UI. There's no nothing. It's a simulator. You don't know who your teammates are. If you are not in comms and next to them, I have killed teammates so many times on accident because I'm in a firefight and they flank around and I just shoot first and ask questions later because one shot can kill you. And I shoot because I see somebody and they're like, fuck, you just killed me. That was me. God damn it, whatever. And like one of the biggest things, like I'll pull up the fucking, to give you guys an idea, hold on, wait. I will pull up the Lupo clip in a second.
I thought you were gonna pull up my clip. I was like, okay, bye.
Oh yeah, I don't know where your clip is. Let me find, it's a while ago though. I know I shared it. But it's so intense that because you don't know, there's no UI, there's no nothing to know anything. So Charlie and I were standing there at interchange and we were just like looking at each other, just looking at the characters. And I happened to move away for like half a second. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's get back to what we're doing. Like within a second or 2 seconds out of the time frame of I move out of the center of her crosshairs, she accidentally left clicks, and she would have just very easily just one tapped and killed me because she's just like, and I'm like, you definitely just almost shot me. Like, and it was a fucking great moment, and she was like, no, I didn't. I'm like, I heard the shot. I heard the shot. I know what happened. It was an accident that she almost killed me. There was almost like a Dick Cheney hunting accident in Tarkov type of thing going on or something. I don't know.
See, and one of my friends went hunting one time and he got shot in the ass because they weren't paying attention. That's what almost happened to you.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah, he actually got shot in the ass, and it was bad. Like it could have been a lot worse, but they weren't paying attention to what they were doing, and he got shot in the ass. And that's like, and now every single time you tell that story, that's like what I automatically think of. It's like,
hold on, I'm trying to find the Lupo clip to show you guys what exactly. That had to have been 6 years ago, and he still can't sit on his ass right. And he's young. He's our age. He's like 30, and he still can't sit on his ass right. He still has to use a donut. Here. Watch this. This is like the greatest thing to show you guys, like Tarkov and that. So here, hold on. I'll get rid of me for a second.
Sure. Yeah, I'm nuts. I'm fucking nuts. Here we go.
Me kicking the door on accident? Sorry. Trying to scare everybody. You were going out there to loot.
Ow! Fuck! I got shot! Ow!
Oh, I'm dead.
No!
Oh, this guy's just rushed in here. He's just pulled on you.
No, it's me. It's me. It's me! I'm screaming that it's fucking me,
Oh my god.
I just see him get so mad, and it's hilarious.
Man, you said you were dead. I didn't say that. It was Brian.
Yep, that's
The
me.
anger.
Just pure rage.
It's me! It's
Was that our first team kill?
me! Yes,
Yeah, that's a
first time
game I
I've
can
been
Can you
killed.
replay it? Replay
Most
it.
definitely can't play
Oh,
it.
it's a Tim kill.
Replay
not a
it.
team kill.
Uh,
It's a Tim kill, dude.
I was saying it's me for so long to be fine, dude.
You sure? Promise?
Yeah, I'm nuts. I'm fucking nuts. Here we go.
Me kicking the door on accident? Sorry. Trying to scare everybody.
Ah,
You were
I let it
going out there
replay.
to loot.
Hold on. Wait.
Yeah, no, replay it. Replay
Oh, okay,
it.
okay.
I want to hear it with his rage.
Guy's just
Oh no,
rushed
it's
in here.
it's
He's
great.
good. You sure? Promise?
Yeah, I'm nuts.
I love his
nuts.
fucking
Here we go.
rage, man. It's fucking me, Tim.
Sorry. Trying to scare everybody. You were going out there to loot.
Ow! Fuck! I got shot.
Oh,
Ow!
I'm dead.
No!
Oh, this guy's just rushed in here. He's just pulled on you.
No, it's me. It's me.
It's me.
It's me! I'm screaming that it's fucking me, Tim! It's me!
And you guys, like, the funny thing about that is that has happened so many times.
I didn't say that. It was
If that has not happened to you in Tarkov,
I know, that's
you
exactly what
really
Tarkov is.
Tarkov.
It's fucking me.
It's me!
If that has
Tim.
never happened to you in Tarkov, are you really playing?
Yeah, you're not
Tarkov?
playing Tarkov. If
You're
you're
not playing
yeah.
it right.
Yeah, exactly. That's 110% exactly what it's like. Because I've had that happen. I've killed Disciple. I've played with people and all that.
Undercard
Like,
killed me.
yeah, there's been multiple times in those
Oh,
scenarios
yeah.
where you're just like, oh fuck, somebody's coming in. Oh my god, like because you hear shots and you hear your teammate go, fuck, we're getting shot at, and so you just go on high alert and you're just like, I'm gonna shoot the first thing I see, and they run. Your teammate runs to you for help, and you're just like, oh god, boom, like they're dead, and you're like, that was me. I said I was running into you.
I don't remember who it was, but I know Bo was there, and we were running down a hill. I think it was one of his friends, and we were running down a hill, and I got scared because somebody was taking pop shots at us, and so I'm running down a hill, and I guess I run face plant into undercard, and he shoots me, and I'm like, okay, in a war situation, I'm never running towards you.
Yeah,
Ever.
yeah. Don't run towards undercard. No, that's a funny thing. That game is so fucking intense. If you guys never played it, a lot of us have. It's great. It's very anxiety ridden. Wipe happened. If you don't know, for whatever reason, I would love to see Aphaeaa play the game because I think it would make for great content.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
It would
no,
make for
don't
great
do it.
content.
Don't do it.
Just one stream. Just I want to see the anxiety. Be like, you will lose everything if you die, and just like watch her just go out. There's no map.
10 minutes.
There's no UI. There's no nothing.
I played 10 minutes of a horror game and I immediately uninstall. You think I could do that? If I hear one noise and know that I can die just by one tap.
Yeah.
I will
That's
pay
this
you
game.
money to play. You want to play a scary game? I will pay
It's
you
a
money to play
Visage.
Dark Occult.
Oh, Dark Occult. I figured it was gonna be
Dark
Visage.
Occult. Visage is scary, but Dark Occult is on a whole different fucking level. That like, it's so hard to explain. It really is. Dark Occult is the scariest game that I've ever played, and it is fucking absolutely terrifying.
Charlie
Like,
loves
I
her
wanna
scary
find-
games.
I want to find somebody on Mixer that I like. I have a plan. I have a very big plan coming soon. I have a very big plan coming soon. So how much did she dip on?
Do you want to borrow the cat so that way you can stroke K-Cat while you do that?
Hold
Be
on, I
like,
got a
my
dog."
pretty.
Here's
I
what
have very big plans next time, Gadget. Like, that's exactly what it sounded like there.
Joey, come here. I have very
No,
big
Ella.
plans.
He dumped Ember. I don't remember. I think it was like 1,000 embers, and was like,
Puppy.
just play a little
Oh,
longer.
that's child's play. I'd
Yeah,
be like,
yeah.
fuck you.
And I was like,
Oh, $50? Yeah, fuck you.
I played a little bit longer, and I kept going. I kept going for at least another half hour, 40 minutes, and then it got to the point where I was at the end of the hallway, and I saw something staring at me out in the corner, getting ready to walk towards me. I said nope, and I alt F4'd so fucking
What
much in my
game?
life.
What
Amnesia.
game?
Oh.
That game isn't even fucking scary. Honey, you're in for a world. You're gonna be the
Amnesia
best person.
has its moments, but yeah, like if you're not used to
No,
scary games.
You're gonna be
I'm
the
just
first
you-
person
for
on my victim list. You're gonna be the first person on my victims list for
I can watch
$500.
a horror movie all fucking night long, but put me in control of a damn game to walk through that shit? No, absolutely not.
I'm
I will
okay
not
as long as there
sleep.
aren't fucked up mannequins. I can do anything but like weird mannequins. That's what gets me. If there are weird mannequins,
The mannequins in Fallout 4, I don't give a shit what anybody says. Those are fucking terrifying.
any
They are.
mannequins are fucking terrifying. Like to me, I could do anything else. Every other game, Vigor and all that, like or not Vigor, Visage, all that, like other areas, I could do that. But then with the couple areas, there was like one spot in Visage, there was one spot in Layers of Fear recently when I play. Like all when they bring up those fucking mannequins, that's when I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna
I don't
walk
think
this
there are
way.
No, there aren't any mannequin. Oh no, there is one.
There's like
mannequin.
one, yeah. There's like
There
one
in the
area.
basement.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is
And
a
I'm like-
mannequin in one in the basement. I forgot about that. But I'm sorry if y'all hear my dogs. They're like being idiots.
Hi, kitty.
Okay, Zoe just kind of threw Vader onto the floor by its throat. I don't know. No, it's fine. It's okay. Visage is scary, but Dark Cold is it's so good, but it's so terrifying, and I'm going to be having victims very soon. Layers of Fear is fucking child's play. Like, I did not think Layers of Fear
Layers of Fear
was
wasn't
scary at
bad,
all.
no. It was
I
more
didn't
like
think- not
a
even
psychological
I didn't
made you
one
think.
was scary. I didn't think 2 was scary. I don't think Outlast was scary.
No.
Amnesia, I thought it had its scary moments, but it
Stop
wasn't
showing your ass
that
on camera.
scary.
Thank you.
Visage was way scarier, and and Dark and Cold is a million times worse. My dogs are acting like psychos. Stop it!
We'll get Aphaeaa
Whatever.
to play a scary game one of these days.
We
We'll
will.
sit there and talk and be like, yeah. It's always amusing to get people,
Good
yeah.
luck trying.
Yeah.
I'll hold you. I'll do what I do for Duke of Flutes when he plays a scary game. I will be in Discord with you
Yeah,
and telling you
just
what
like
to do.
talk-
and he
yeah,
still
talk you
gets
through it.
terrified.
Yeah,
He
talk you
still
through it.
gets terrified.
It's just I don't know if it's just like the game itself that scares me, or if it's the fact that I know like it's about to happen. There's gonna be a jump scare here, and I can see when it's gonna fucking happen. I don't know if that's the panic of the fear that I have. I don't know.
See, like in those moments, scary games don't bother me because I Leroy Jenkins that shit all the fucking time. Like when I play like Visage and all that, I'm like, shit's about to go down. Fuck it, let's do it. And I just fucking charge in. I'm like, yeah, let's fucking do it. You know, I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Remember
I
that
can't.
one clip? Broke my knee. Okay, so there's this one part in Dark Occult. Well, it's not an actual like part, but I was getting chased by the big bad, and I had my knee like as I sit like semi cross leg when I play games. Like one knee is crossed and then the other one's like sitting normal, and I fucking got so scared, like I slammed my knee on my desk. I have a dent from on the bottom of my desk from how hard I slammed my.
Thank you. No, thank you.
And that was scary. But Dark Occult is. I love that game. I still love that game. I don't care. Like, but it's fucking good. Not as good as Hellblade, but
Aphaeaa is just like having anxiety just sitting here.
Just thinking about it.
it's so good. Like I said, like I do it for Duke of Flutes all the time, or I'll sit in Discord with him and walk him through, and then he still gets scared.
Yeah. Scary games, great. Long story short, circling back around. Escape from Tarkov, if you haven't seen, did wipe this week. Go back, play it. It's fun. A lot of us are getting back into it. I know Shroud has been playing it the last couple days because now that the wipe has happened, a lot of new things. So he's a great Tarkov player among, other people. But, myself, Medic, other people out there have been playing it. I played it with Bo the other day and, learned him a little bit. He died for the cause twice. I got out alive, so that's what matters.
That's all that matters.
He died for the cause. But yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so that's a couple other like minor changes with that, but the main thing was the flea market and things like that. So the end game economy should be a lot better when it comes to EFT, hopefully moving forward. Last official topic of the night. The other big or the main big release, in the last couple days. Yesterday, Valorant went live. Official launch of Valorant. As much as I hate this game. A lot of updates, changes, things like that to it. It's just a little like highlight thing that I have here. Added a new map, a new mode, restructured a lot of characters. They fixed the hit registration. They adjusted Viper a little bit. I'll run through some of the highlights of the patch notes. As we do this, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that way it's a little bit easier for you guys to see as I'm talking about them. And I can't go side to side. So that looks like it's about good. All right, so we have that. Updated a lot of agents, so we'll go a little more in depth with that. Sage healing orb cooldown was increased, so she got a nerf. Her cooldown was increased from 35 to 45 seconds. Personally, straight off the bat, starting with that, I don't know that this was a needed nerf. I can't see all the numbers. I feel like 35 seconds was a long time as is. Now 45 seconds, it's a 2-minute round. Like,
that's worse than Chappie.
That's toxic.
Like,
that is so fucking toxic.
Like,
that's people their fucking feelings hurt because they like Sage is healing her teammates.
Yeah, and I agree.
Yeah. As the only healer in the fucking game, that's what she's supposed to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think that 35 seconds, it was a long time. There were plenty of times where we were like, fuck, can I get a heal? Oh no, I just used it. Like, that still happened quite often enough. Now, you're maybe getting one heal. If you throw that heal off after your first push, if you're attacking, like, it's one heal a match. You're never getting more than one heal, most likely, because you're never in a scenario to heal. I think this was.
I would use maybe, because I mained Sage, and I would use one, maybe two, maybe three.
Yeah, and that's if you used it right away at the beginning, like you hard pushed and you healed somebody. But how often is that? Like, I feel like this wasn't a needed nerf. I think, like I said, I can't see the metrics, but
I didn't use it enough to warrant a 45-second.
Yeah, like a 10-second nerf on it. I think that now there's no way to use it 3 times a match now. even if you
Yeah.
use it right at the beginning.
No.
I think that this already was something that wasn't getting utilized that much. I think that they nerfed too much. The barrier orb, I think this is good. Reduce the health to 800 and reduce the timing to 30 seconds. I think this personally, I think this part is a good nerf, simply because the wall was a little too strong. Even if you were knifing it, in my opinion, it held off people too much, even if they were shooting it, knifing it, whatever. And it lasted too long as an obstruction. You know, if they didn't want to go around it. I think like now you have to place it a little bit more accurately. Like you can't just throw it up at the beginning of the match and have it last a third of the match, you know?
Yeah.
I'm okay with this one. I think that this is better to bring her more in line as...
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense. But the heal...
Yeah, I think the heal is too much. This also is huge. Friendly barrier orbs will show on the minimap. That is huge as well, because now you can actually see, because I've been blocked by my own teams, or not known where my own team's wall are as is. So that's nice that at least now you'll know where your team...
And that goes for any of the... From what I was playing last night, and I started noticing, like, Phoenix. If Phoenix uses his fire, his Molotov, you see that too.
That's on the wall. All right, cool. That's good that that's on the minimap and all that.
Fire thingy.
All right, cool. Because it doesn't list that, so that's cool that they added it to all of them. It doesn't list that in the notes, but yeah.
Maybe
so that
it's not Phoenix. Maybe it's Fat Boy. I don't. Whatever the hell his name is.
Well,
that has the Molotov.
Beard's smokes were always there. I don't know about the Molotov. Yeah, I know Beard's smokes were always there. I don't know about the
I
like
call him
Molotov.
Fat Boy because I don't like him and he's rude.
Big boy. Ray's blast pack, her C4 that she can throw out that has 2 charges. They reduce the maximum damage of it, so it still has the same damage radius, but they reduce the maximum damage to make it smaller, so that way you won't take maximum damage if you're a little bit further away. So it's like, to take max damage, you have to be a little bit more spot on with it, which is
That
good.
makes more sense.
It is good. Yeah, you need to be right up next to it, take max damage. Like they reduce, or increase the fall off. So instead of 2 meters, it's now 1 meter. So to take max damage, you have to be right on it, which I'm perfectly okay with.
I never played Raze, like not even one round. I never played. I didn't even play her in.
I've never touched her.
Yeah,
but
I've
playing
never
against
touched
her, like those C4 packs, like most of the time she uses C4 packs for mobility, but even still, the fact that she could throw it around a corner and still blast you with so much damage is
I just
insane.
remember her being toxic as shit.
Oh yeah, luckily they nerfed her and it was very due.
Yeah, it was like within a week they nerfed the shit out of her. I remember Chad.
She was fucking toxic at the beginning.
Chad.
Yeah, I did when it first started. We played against each other. Actually, my second round ever playing Valorant, morning of, like at 8:30, me and Chad played against each other. And he came over in chat, be like, I'm playing against you, and I didn't realize it was him because I'm not looking. And yeah, he's like, I'm playing against you right now. I was like, oh hey, what's up?
Yeah, and his main was Raze.
Yeah. It was, she was so toxic. So, Jet.
My baby.
Cloudburst, yes. Who Aphaeaa is cosplaying as next con.
Excited.
Yes.
Oh,
so
yes.
it's nice. So a couple of things that I think are needed additions to Jet. Her Cloudburst smoke duration increased from 4 to 7 seconds. Definitely, I think needed personally for Clouds.
One time that I did play Jet, I felt like that was really short.
They were really
it was
short.
Ridiculously
They
short.
definitely shouldn't last as long as like Omen or Beard, Fat Fuck, either any of their Clouds, like definitely because they're just a thrown one, but only 4 seconds, that really doesn't give any type of mobility. Yeah, at all. Like, you throw, you do it right. So this gives her a little bit more of a team kind of orientation. 7 seconds, still not a lot, but at least helps a little bit. Because that
I mean,
definitely...
but that puts it around in the same range as, like, if you scroll down, you look down at Phoenix's. His blaze was at 6 seconds. And
his wall,
7, 8, and it puts them in the same range as...
Exactly, and that's what it's, supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a hard control like a Omen smoke or a Beard smoke. It's not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be a quick thing, but it was too quick. It was supposed to be, you know, just like a Blaze where you have a couple seconds of obscured vision, you know. That's why you have multiple of them, you know. She's more a thing. Tailwind, also the other buff to her is that her dash, that's what Tailwind is, automatically breaks Cypher's tripwires after being revealed.
Ooh.
So that's good now. So before, if you hit a Cypher tripwire, even if you dashed, you would get pulled back, which was always funny to see. Don't get me wrong. I loved it every time I was playing Cypher and a Jet hit my tripwire and she dashed and then she got pulled back. Fucking hilarious. But
Oh yeah.
it makes sense that, you know, everybody else still gets hit by it, has to shoot it. It does make sense that she should not succumb to that because it is an ability that she's having to use. This is what I said the other night. You know, she's having to use an ability to get out of it. She's still shown, you know, she's still revealed, like,
Yeah.
she's still, like, it makes sense. She's the only one that can get out of it without shooting it. I think this is perfectly okay. I think it's fair. As much as I like seeing Jet trapped in it and get sucked back, I think her using her ability to get out of it, then now, you know, now she's down a dash. She has to either buy it again or now, you know, she doesn't have one. So I think it's a fair trade for a Cypher tripwire. She's the only one that can do something like that to get out of it. You know, because she's fucking dashing forward with full speed. I think that's fair. You know, it only makes sense that she should be able to get out of it.
Yeah.
Phoenix changes. A lot of changes to his Blaze. We talked about this when it first launched. The duration has increased a little bit, 2 seconds. The Blaze damage and healing, though, has gone down overall. We worked out the math the other night when it first launched. You're now getting a quarter less healing and damage from it, the way that it worked out, because I was like trying to figure out, we did the math. So in like 1 full second, instead of 60, you're getting 45 damage. And instead of healing, it's like around the same. Like it's about that. Instead of 1, it's about 3/4. And it's just more kind of to bring it in line, the healing aspect and the damage. It's supposed to be more of a wall with a slight damage kind of thing, and then the healing, it's supposed to bring it in line with Hot Hands, so that way his healing, so Phoenix can heal himself off of his fire. This is supposed to bring the two abilities in line with each other for the amount of healing that they do. So it's a nerf. I don't know whether it was justified or not. I don't really feel one way or the other. I guess their numbers on their end said that this was something they needed to do. I have no personal comment on it, and I play Phoenix every once in a while. It just is what it is.
You don't flash up like other people.
Yeah, exactly. I don't flash people all the time. So, you know. Speaking of, I actually have a thing in my chat for when we were playing with Undercard when he was playing Phoenix. I have a counter that will count how many times he flashes us. It's great. Yep. Curveball, his flash, max flash duration increased, which is good, from 0.8 to 1.1. I think that it was definitely too short. 0.3 seconds, that, you know, it doesn't sound like much, but in-game 0.3 seconds is huge. So I think that's definitely a good thing that they brought that back up. And run it back, his ultimate reloads all weapons on respawn. So what they say here, this is closer to a quality of life improvement. Phoenix's ult often puts him in a position to empty his clips right before getting sent back, because you're going full send. You're full sending on people because you know you're going to live and respawn. It was very jarring for a Phoenix player to wait several seconds to respawn, because there is that animation after you come back. There, you can get killed during. I have killed many a Phoenix as they're respawning from their ultimate. They say it was very jarring for a Phoenix player to wait several seconds to respawn, only then to have to spend another second reloading, potentially under pressure. We think that this several second respawn time is enough to justify an automatic reload. I think that's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
You know,
that was part of the reason I liked playing Phoenix, but that ult was the reason why I fucking did not like playing
you
it.
go in balls deep, you empty your mags down to, you know, a couple shots, you respawn, takes you 3 seconds, and you have to reload. So now you're down for 5 seconds while somebody is pressing you. You know?
And reload is, I would even say it's longer than 2 seconds. I would say it's 3. I'll time it.
Depending on the gun, I feel like it's about 1.5 to 2 seconds. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But that 1.5, 2 seconds.
Yeah, that could it very much get you killed. You know, in this scenario, because they know if they saw where you peaked from, especially right after you cast your ult. If I'm close to a Phoenix, I know if I'm close to a Phoenix as he did his ultimate, and I kill his ult form, I'm pushing his respawn because I know I have that downtime. I know I have that downtime.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's fair. Omen, my boy. I don't care what anybody says. He got nerfed at the end of the day, and I will stand by that statement. We'll go through a little bit of it, but Paranoia is now an equipped instead of quick cast, and hit detection is improved, especially at close range. So they changed how Paranoia, his blind, is cast, which his blind was the worst one in the game to begin with. It was unreliable. It didn't work. One of the only good things about it was that it was quick cast. Now they made it so it actually works. It actually has hit detection. It works how it was originally intended, but now you have to actually cast it, and it takes just as long as like a fucking sage orb and shit like that to pull out. And it's fucking ridiculous. As an Omen main, he got nerfed overall. And we'll go through a couple other things. 110%, I think that this is bullshit that they made. They made the ability work how it was intended, but they nerfed it because it's working now how it was intended. I think that's bullshit. It reward more proactive use of Paranoia over its more reactive use. So now they want you to use it now as a before you push in type of thing. Like, you know, just like Phoenix uses his blind around a corner, thing like that. You have to pull it out and cast it before you go into an area. Which I also argue, that's not Omen. That's not his character. Like, I don't see that as being Omen. Like, if you're using a blind and all that kind of stuff, like, you're using it quickly, you're a very evasive, maneuverable character. Having to cast something does not fit him at all. Like, it fucking drives me nuts. Dark Cover, which is his smoke, now enters a phaser world, which does look really cool. So this is something that's cool. But they changed up all of the key presses for it. So now you're able to see through walls. So when you cast his smoke, you kind of come into this secondary world look, where you see kind of just like a 3D rendering of the map and where you're placing the smoke. It's actually really cool looking. I like it. It does. You can toggle out of it as well, which is cool because there's a lot of us who are Omen mains who are used to just not having to go into a different viewpoint. You can toggle out of it and just be like, I'm just throwing the smoke in front of me, or, you know, this far in front of me, which is cool. What's annoying is that they changed the controls. So now they changed all of the controls for it. And they even said this might be difficult control shift for players who main Omen, but in the long run and for new players, we think it's more intuitive for the distance to be controlled by one hand on the mouse by default. Which I kind of get. All my abilities are on my mouse either way, so I know I'm different. But so now you move it further with left mouse button, less with right mouse button, and then you still cast it by pressing the ability button. My issue with this as an Omen main is before I was able to right click out of the ability, if I remember correctly, and I could cancel it. Whereas now I have to like pull out a new gun to get out of the ability. Which is very annoying. Like I have to press the gun, like I have to press 1 or whatever. I just don't see why they made these changes to Omen that weren't needed. It seems like they're just making them to make them. Like, you know, obviously I'm speaking as an Omen main, but it seemed like they just made them to make them when everybody was okay with how they worked before. And I'm curious if they really are going to be for the better. Like, you know, they actually just brought his blind up to how it's supposed to work, and they nerfed it. They made his dark cover, you know, work where you could see it through walls and know where you're placing it. But then they fuck up the control scheme, so it's a little bit more... To me, it's counterintuitive the way it is, but that's just me. I liked being able to just left-click to fire it. That's how I did it. Now I have to press the ability button again to fire it, and I use the left-click to move it. Like, it's not intuitive to me at all. I don't know. His teleport, he can see where he's going through his smoke, which is nice. That is nice. That's how it always should have been. And also his ultimate you can cancel out of, which is also something that is nice. So if you teleport in on his ultimate, for those guys who don't know, he has his global ultimate, can teleport anywhere. You teleport in, you sit there for a second. If you see that you're about to get fucking killed, because there is that second of spawning in, if you have a bunch of people around you and they're going to shoot you as soon as you spawn in, you can cancel your ult and go back to where you came from, which is nice. So you can cancel it. It still counts as using your ult, which is fair. You know, you teleport in and you're like, fuck, never mind. And you teleport the fuck back. Like, you're like, this was a bad choice. Mistakes were made. I'm just gonna, you know, at least it still takes your ultimate. They did a couple reworks. Split, as you can see here, it used to have the wall here for the map. Now they got rid of that whole wall area. Now there is a box for cover here, but it definitely opens up the middle area, makes it less of a choke point for defending, which is definitely a lot nicer. Mid was definitely the things. New map. I don't think they have it like down here. New map, Ascent. Aphaeaa, have you played this since it launched?
No, not yet. I want to though.
Okay, we can do that after the web show. We can do that after the web show.
I like the new map. I
have
like
to update it.
That's fine. Charlie likes the new map. Chat.
I like it, but I also hate it at the same time.
Chat, what do you guys think? I actually posted a thing on Twitter. I'm curious what I'm up to. Hold on, let me see. Let me see what I'm up to. So far on my Twitter post, I have 14 votes, and it's pretty split between they like it, it's whatever, or it's terrible. It's terrible being the one that's behind. So 35, 35, 28. Personally, I think the map is... The more that I've played it, I've been trying to reserve my feelings, but the fact that I've had to play this map, every map that I've played, except for the very first map, I've yet to play a different map besides Ascent. So I've gotten quite a hands-on feel on it, which they did say in their notes. They're like, we're going to have this as like the main map. It'll pop up more often, which I'm okay with.
I played other maps.
I have not, which is what drives me fucking nuts. I played Haven once. The very first game when I first loaded up, I played Haven. After that, I have yet to play another map. So I have a very hands-on feeling about this map. This map, to me, is terrible, personally. The center area is way too open, does not provide enough mobility, is very one-sided, depending on the engagement. The fact that there's only one set of stairs up in the certain area to get onto the catwalk to the right, or you have to go here. Like, it's the whole map, and that plays into the whole map. The center area is very much, you have to have a Vandal or an Op to really be effective. You have an SMG, just don't even fucking go near the center area. The spike points, especially spike point B, there's only one area to get out of unless you kind of hop up on boxes and then kind of do a corner hop up onto a ledge to the catwalk. So you're automatically siphoned in when you're on site, which I think is kind of bullshit. You know, like, it should be a step over there, because that also affects both attackers and defenders. Like, there's no rotation capability for you there. If you are doing that jump, it's a noise factor. People know, like, and then you don't always get it. Like, I mean, that jump, it's not always like, I messed it up a couple times. Like, it's not an easy jump to make. Like, I don't get it. And then there's like a back area to it on both sides. The doors are a nice touch. So there are doors that you can close. Let me see if I can pull up here an Ascent map as we're talking about it. Let me just see. Open up. Open up. I don't know what site this is. I should have just opened up in a new tab. Open image in new tab. There we go.
Baby.
All right. This. Oh. Well, this is a comparison to Split, which actually is one of my other points. This is a bad version of Split. So here's Split. This is great. And I've said it. I've said it. This is a bad version of Split. This is perfect. That was going to be my next point after this. This is Split. Here's Ascent. It is a bad version of Split. All they did was open up this whole middle area and make fucking worse choke points on each site.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah, no, I see it now. Like when you put it side by side, I definitely see it now.
Yeah, and I've said that. I'm glad
by looking at that.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
realize that no, but that's the thing. Like I said this, and this is the first time. I love that I randomly pulled up this one, for the image of the thing, because that's exactly what I've said. I'm like, this is a bad version of Split. 110%.
That's literally all they did. Just look at it. They just took out a few hallways.
Yep, and
that's
they
literally all they did.
Yeah, and they made it. In my opinion, they made it worse. And Split was their worst map. It's the one that they've gotten more flack for than anything. And they just kind of rearranged Split. I don't get it. This whole center area is bullshit. So if you're here, if you fall down right here, all you can do is go up and like go up these stairs if you want to go here, or go like you are out in the open this whole time. There's no cover. There's no nothing. You have every different area shooting at you. If you're on B, this catwalk right here that I'm looking at, like there are boxes right here, but you have to make this jump. There's a wall here, so you have to make this jump. And it's not always easy if you're distracted onto this, from this top box onto this corner right here to get up on this catwalk. Otherwise, there is a box right here, or there's stairway right here that you can go up and go back in the lobby. But otherwise, it's weird. I will say the doors, there's a door here and a door here that you can close or open. Those are nice touches. I do like those. But overall, very much think the map needs work. It's a bad version of Split. And personally, I don't like it, you know.
I have a love-hate relationship with it. Like, if I'm defending, I love it. But if I'm attacking, I don't.
Well, that's also kind of the thing. There should... I get that there will be maps that are defense-heavy or attack-heavy.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But this one just... It just doesn't feel right. If you're on mid, to defend mid, or even attack mid, if you're going right here, you have to have an op. Or a vandal.
Yeah.
If you have anything else, if you're peeking, because this is here, the wall is here. If you're here, you're a little better if they're right here. But if you're coming from A, this is all open. You know, even if they're here, like there is no...
I actually got shot more from the long angle right there that you...
This one?
No, not from there. From
A-Link?
No, the other one. Other one, move that way.
So, like,
I got shot from there more than anywhere else. That other little mid link right here, that's where I got my most of my kills from. I would be in mid, actual mid. The other opening, no, the other one. Yep, I'd be there, and I'd get shot from attack spawn. But I'd get most of my kills in mid-link.
Yeah.
Like that night that I had the 20 kills that I was dropping, all of my kills, when I would kill somebody, they'd be coming from mid-link. But I would get shot from
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like here, it's such a long angle. And this is one of the other things I want to get. Like part of the reason I don't like this map, it's like a bad version of Split, but part of the reason I don't like this map is that it kind of negates a lot of your... One of the things you build on is having your agents, all these characters with smokes and things like that. There's a lot of points on this map that negate it and just make them not think. So like A Heaven, every other map that has like an A Heaven or things like that, you can pretty much smoke off. So, but if you, you know, like every other like Split, all that kind of stuff, you pretty much smoke off majority of it, except small thing. This A Heaven right here, this whole thing like would take 2 smokes precisely positioned to smoke off, which I don't like. And the same thing like down here. Like this map, it kind of negates your agent's abilities to be able to do that. You know, even when I'm on Split, that Heaven that would be right here on Split, I can smoke majority of it off because there, and then you have that like little crossover right here, but they have to go out on it, and that's different. This... Like, you can be up here, you smoke off this half, they just go a little to the left, they still are in Heaven. So you need 2 smokes to smoke it off. This, you need 2 smokes. Like, I feel like it's, not only is it a badly designed map for openness, like, even here, it's negating a lot of your agent's abilities by being, you know, the way that it's set up. You know, this whole thing, there's no way to smoke it off. There's no way to cover, which, you know, you can argue, okay, that's just a harder area to go into, you know, and maybe it makes more issues for it or whatever. But
I love it and I hate it. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I like it more than... I can't even remember what the other the map that I fucking cannot stand. I don't know what the name of it is.
The desert one? Is it the desert one?
Actually, I like that map.
So the one that you, well, the 3-point then? Are you talking about the 3-cap one?
Yeah.
The Haven, so with A, B, and C?
Yeah, I don't like that one. But I mean, like, I don't hate any of the maps. But I also don't like that one.
Yeah.
This isn't fucking Siege with fucking plane and fucking yacht and shit where I'm just like, banging my head against my
fuck this map.
Because, like I like all the maps, but I also don't like them. But I will still play them. Whereas on Siege, if yacht or fucking villa or fucking plane popped up, I want to fucking just shut out the game and restart because I fucking can't stand those maps.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't you worry.
I'm sure I will, but then I'd have to do like Mech. His power went out last night, and he got 100.
I know he came over and told me that was insane.
An hour penalty, a full hour penalty. He got back into the game.
Which
and then the hour penalty.
We talked about last week how they are redoing, you know, some of their bans and everything with chat and everything else. It's interesting what he says. So one of those of you guys in different communities. So Mech, one of the people in our community, mine and Charlie's both, got kicked out of the game because his power went out, came back 3 rounds later, was able to get back in, got an hour ban.
3 rounds later. I would say like 2 hours, and we were in 3 or 4 rounds in.
Yeah.
It might have been 3 rounds later, but I feel like it was like maybe 2.5.
But it's weird. He
came back.
Yeah, he came back and still got an hour-long play ban.
Yeah, and still got an hour-long play ban, and he got kills in that game.
Yeah. So it's weird for me for the automated system either way to be that, you know, everything that I read did not denote that they were going to be that aggressive, that thing, because...
Well, listen to this. I was watching the Game Guru earlier, and he got a 5-minute penalty for AFKing, and his game crashed. So he got a 5-minute penalty, and then basically, essentially the same thing. And he got back in, and it was fine, and whatever. But then Matt got an hour ban last. Something's weird.
Yeah, it's weird that he got that much of a ban when he came back into the game, was playing. Like, I get if you're, you know, you leave the game, whatever, for multiple ones, but I think like a 3-round, like a 2 to 3 round leaving, like that shouldn't be an hour-long ban. You know, like I get like if you're not there for 10 rounds and then come back, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you like 2 to 3 rounds, you come back. Obviously, you're trying to play and you're getting kills and you're playing. I feel like the system should realize that, hey, something happened.
Yeah, like a lost forgiveness or something.
Yeah,
whatever
you know,
wanna
something.
call it,
Yeah,
like that.
something like that. You know, I feel like that's
Yeah.
a little much.
I can understand the system. Maybe they were taking into account that, hey, we just dropped the game full send. Now everybody's playing it. People who are gonna rage quit like they're just gonna fucking do it. Not everybody had the game, so I can kind of see why.
Mhm.
But like in a sense that they need to take into account that people's games crash all the fucking time. Valorant crashes for me a lot.
Yeah.
Power going out, that the game should be able to recognize something like that. It wasn't just if it's being like an immediate cut from the game.
Yeah,
they should,
we've talked
know.
about that as well, like last week, how they were changing things up. It's just weird that they instituted the system where, Mech in that scenario is, the one closest that we know has encountered this, where you're going for even just only like 3 rounds. They said that they were going to institute things against AFK people and other things, which is great, 110%. But I mean, if you come back and you're getting kills and all that, I think the system should be smart enough the way that they built it in that, okay, it wasn't intentional. It was only like for 2-3 rounds. Something happened.
Well, the other day, or it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were playing Siege, and my game crashed, and so does Dawn's, and we both got a 30-minute penalty. Our games actually like did that sound and like hard crash, and we still got a half-hour penalty.
See, they need to install some sort of recognition there too. If it's the game's end, they need to recognize that it's the game's end.
Well, but that was on Xbox, so I like it's like they can do that on PC a lot easier than they can do that on Xbox. And I recognize that, but at the same time, you should be able to tell the fucking difference between a game crash and me. And this wasn't ranked. This wasn't, because you have 3 different modes in Siege. You have unranked, ranked, and casual. This was in fucking casual.
Yeah, so it's different, than trying to be in ranked.
Okay, but because unranked is basically the same thing as ranked, but it doesn't affect your rank. Like if you're diamond or plat or whatever, it doesn't affect it. But it's just going to be just as sweaty and
you're trying to practice for ranked and those kind of things, but not
and this was in casual, and it was just.
See, a casual game mode, you shouldn't really necessarily have one like that.
Yeah.
Take Apex. People, as soon as your random knocks, they fucking leave.
Oh, yeah, they
leave. Don't get,
But see, I don't have that issue as much as I don't have that issue on PC as much as I have it on Xbox, and I've been saying that for a long time.
Yeah. At PC, you don't run into it as much. It still happens,
You'll run into it, but not nearly as much as Xbox.
Yeah. So, but abilities for my new bae, Reyna, my new mistress. Oh, the tattoo. The tattoo is just. I like girls with tattoos. I'm sorry. And she's Latina. Like, just everything about her. Either way, and the only thing weird about her is that she wears. If you haven't seen, she has like booty shorts with like one
chaps?
Like she's wearing like a chap on one leg but nothing on the other. It's really weird. Like, let me see if I can pull up a picture of her character model. It's really weird because it's like, why I feel like she's wearing only one chap instead of 2.
Yeah, you gotta put your gun somewhere. I don't fucking know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like
weird. I still love her.
Yeah,
I still love her despite her clothing choices.
So like, here, let me see. So like, you see this, like, this is just a drawing of it, but it's actually how she is in game, where she has like this, and it's like, okay, like the booty shorts kind of thing, and then this whole legging is like a thing, and she has like a skirt, but then you have like nothing here on the thigh. So it's just like, so is this like a chaps thing, or did she cut off a leg of a leggings? Was she wearing some Lulus, and she cut off one leg? Like, I don't know what it is. And then she has the opposite going on here. Like, she's balancing. Like, the leg is full, but then, like, on this side, she has the tattoo showing off bare skin, but then she's full-sleeved on the other side.
She's not full-sleeved on... Oh, no. She is. She is.
It's like she's balancing out. Like, I have full leg over here and full arm over here. Like,
I don't care. I love her despite her ridiculous and weird clothing choices.
it's just interesting. She also has a glowing, that thing on her chest that you guys saw. It also like glows. That's her like soul sucking pendant.
Too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're in the different modes and all that, her tattoo will glow. Yeah. Oh yeah. It turns into.
She's my new main. I decided last night that she's my new main besides Sage.
I don't think I can ever give up Jet.
You can have her.
Jet's
I
just
literally
sexy.
tried to play Jet once, and I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah. So the abilities on Reyna, though, a little bit different. So Reyna has to be almost a very... She's described... She's in the qualification of a duelist. She has to be aggressive for her kit to really work.
She's made me play more aggressively.
Yeah. That is her style of character. She is a duelist, so what we say by that is her abilities don't work. 2 of her abilities, she has 1 that will work, but 2 of her abilities do not work unless you are getting kills. And what that is, like, it's like the soul sucker, I think is what it called, or soul whatever.
You, and then the other one like turns you invisible.
Yeah, so I have it right here. So it's like, so when you personally as Reyna kill an enemy, for 3 seconds, there will be like an orb above them that is like their soul. And you could capture that soul to either heal you or make you turn translucent or invisible.
Yeah, and you can't shoot while you're in that mode.
Yeah. So that's 2 of her abilities. So she effectively loses, you lose a lot of her kit if you're not getting kills. She does have her first ability is a blind, very similar to kind of like Omens. It is a near sight, but it works so much better, which is what drives me nuts. So you send out a fucking giant eye that's destructible, but if anybody is looking in that direction of the eye, they get nearsighted. Just like if you're familiar, if you ever got hit by Omens thing, where it's not a blind, but just around you. Yeah, it fucks up your hearing, and it just kind of makes an orb around you that you can't really see out of unless somebody's right in front of you. So it's a little bit different than a blind. So it nearsights you, fucks up your hearing in that. If you're in range of the orb, I think it lasts for about 1 second or so. But it's very strong, can go through walls. That's the only thing that doesn't require souls. Devour is the one where if you kill somebody, you can activate Devour. It consumes the life force of a killed enemy to restore their health, or to restore your health. And it can go above 100. It will just slowly decrease. So if you're killing a bunch of people, you keep devouring, you can effectively go over 100, theoretically. It'll just slowly decrease.
Yeah, and it'll slowly decrease until you're back at 100. I had one the other day where it put me at 150. And then the 50 just started slowly decreasing, but the 100 stayed there.
Yeah, it'll bring you back down to, it won't let you go over 100 for extended period, but if you did heal up to 100, then you're good to go. The other one is Dismiss. Consume the life force of killed enemy to turn invisible. Well, the first one, I wouldn't call it invisible. It's translucent. So you can still be seen. You consume this one, you can still be seen, but you're translucent. People will shoot through you. You cannot be killed during that second and a half, whatever the actual timing is. I'd have to load up the game to see. But it's like a second and a half, 2 seconds of translucent thing. So you suck up the orb and you can move around. You're translucent. That being said, her ultimate modifies both of these abilities. So the ultimate gives her kind of a berserker mode where she gets rapid fire, a couple other things. The only one, I just pulled up an article about it, but it says in game it gives her rapid fire and 1 or 2 other things, but essentially rapid fire, rapid reload, etc. Kind of a berserker mode. But also while she's in that, it's called Empress. While she's in that mode, it does affect the other 2 abilities that manage souls. So Devour, the one that will suck up life force, that happens automatically and doesn't consume charges. So now you don't have to cast it or anything like that, where it doesn't consume charges that you have to buy. And the other one, Dismiss, the one that made you translucent, also makes you now, while you're in your ultimate, if you suck up, that one you still have to cast. If you suck up an ability or a soul, it will not only make you translucent, but also make you invisible for those 2 seconds to replay around. So very badass ultimate.
There was that
I
one
was gonna say,
point.
it's just fucking badass.
Yeah, at one point last night, and I don't know if I was just imagining shit or what, but at one point when she goes, not when she does the devour, but when she like makes herself invisible for like that 2 seconds, I swear to God, I saw the enemy Reyna do a dash like she was Jet, like kind of like transferred herself while she was invulnerable or whatever, like where the bullets still go through her. And I swear to God, I think I was losing my shit at that point. I was tired. So I could have been imagining that.
You might have, but I mean, you know, it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, Reyna. To me, Reyna is. I don't want to say she's OP by any stretch of the imagination, but I think
She's OP.
the blind and other things are very strong. I am looking forward to unlocking her and playing her because I do not like what they did to my Omen.
Yeah.
They changed him way too much. They took his elusiveness as a character out in a lot of different ways, and I think they're going to need to revert back. I'm very hopeful the community that is Omen people get behind me in it, because I don't see how, like, overall he got nerfed. I feel like Reyna is like a better version of Omen right now. Doesn't have like the teleportation of it, the movement, but at the same time, like, Omen doesn't really have his movement right now either. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. I definitely do say that when they release the lore, I am so expecting Omen and Reyna to have had a relationship at some point. Just like, you know, because they're obviously slowly releasing. Oh, that was the thing. I was going to show the launch, the video. I got distracted. Where'd it go? I had so many tabs open, I lost it. All right, I'll pull it up. I might have closed it. But I am so expecting Omen and Reyna to have had a thing, just because, like, also their color styles and everything else and their abilities, like, they definitely seem...
I think y'all are reaching, but
nah, they seem similar. I'm sorry, but I feel like Omen, before he went all he's a fucking demon now or whatever he is, because there's all those like quotes that he's like no longer living, like it seems kind of like that kind of thing, like demonic.
He broke her heart and she killed him, so now he's a demon.
Or like,
I'm
well,
okay
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Maybe.
I feel like there's something there, because I feel like maybe in a past life, like Omen and Reyna, if we were together, like I feel like Omen is now like a demon or some other being. Like that's kind of what he alludes to. I feel though that, you know, and also Reyna has this soul sucking ability.
I would love to see like little, like how they do it in Apex, like little snippets of how they, that is like one thing I love about Apex, is that they have that lore between each.
And that's what it seems like they're doing. They're trying to not even like Apex, but they're trying to build it up even more, like almost how Overwatch did their videos. Like they're starting to build this lore. And I don't know if you guys saw, this is the launch video. I meant to show this, but we'll show this as we were talking about it. It's actually really fucking cool. This was the prologue video. This is what starts up the story to Valorant as we're launching the game.
Please tell me you have the package.
I would if somebody was a little less aggressive. Hey, stop! I said stop! Oh, that's how you want to play it.
I wish I could pull a fucking jet knife out of my shoulder. Normally, I just die.
Okay, is anybody else feeling like Aladdin right now?
It's like, yeah, it's very like Aladdin, and yeah. But I mean, I get like the Overwatch vibes from their videos, you know?
What about the hostile?
I wouldn't worry about her.
Are you certain?
100. I got this.
Wait, he's British?
Yeah, you've never noticed that? Yeah, Phoenix is British.
이 안에서 어쩌나?
He fucked up.
So what is she? What is her nationality?
I don't know. Because, like, right there, she spoke, like, what I think was some type of Asian, like, whether Japanese or something like that, but she
Well,
definitely...
Sage is Chinese.
Yeah.
So
She
about
definitely looks like Japanese or something, like... And he respawns, and he's like, oh, fuck. So this is, like, what I was saying, like, where this ignition, like, Ascent is after that bomb goes off.
Yeah.
Like, that like, it spawns, like, we see that in the trailer
I hope
thing.
they go into more detail about, like, backstories and stuff like that, because, like, we know, like, I know there's a way to find out what the nationalities, like, I know...
Italy. Yeah.
I know Reina is Mexican. Like, I just want backstories, but that's just, like, the curious side of me wanting to know. And I look down, and I'm like, oh. Okay. Hold on.
It's like the comfiest spot.
There we
to
go.
be
Yeah,
at.
it's so comfortable just sitting like this and just...
Just like, I can
I
honestly
feel like
sit
it's a girl
this.
thing. It's a girl thing. I've never seen
Honestly,
men do that.
every girl I watch, this is how they
yeah,
sit. They'll sit like
yeah.
this, talk, or just like,
Yeah.
I like to prop my arm up because I have elbow issues.
Or I'll just be like, or my this is my favorite.
Yeah, leaning back.
I do that, and then I hit, like, a green screen after a while. Oh, I have done that, though.
See, I fixed my office area where my green screen is a solid, like, 5 feet behind me, so.
If I had that space, I would. But anyways, this was that was the prologue. This isn't really as much of a story one. This has decent audio and music. But just kind of shows the map a little bit.
Yeah.
That we were talking about. Kind of more of a vibe video.
This is gonna be fun. What's this?
Man, imagine if Undercard could play Jet like this.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
I like the door concept on that.
He wishes he could play Jet like that.
I wish he could play Jet like that too. Shit.
Let me show you how the boss does it. We put in work.
I don't get why they are still so big on the fucking Vandal and don't have good skins for the Phantom. Drives me nuts. See, like here's the translucent. So it shows the translucent, and her tattoos go purple. Like I love that. Like I fucking so it shows that's the other side of it. So she sucks up the soul.
I really want to do a Reina cosplay.
Dude, like this and her fucking tattoos like go purple and shit. Bruh.
Yeah.
Like you can't shoot her while she's in that. Yeah, it gives her just enough mobility.
Yep.
It's like she is a character that benefits from being aggressive.
Yeah.
Time for the fireworks.
I don't like Raze, but I love her aesthetic.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, I would never play Raze, but I absolutely love her aesthetic.
So that's the actual, like, you know, whatever, first map trailer or whatever for it. I like the Duelist trailer, better. That's more the whatchamacallit, like the lore trailer.
Yeah.
But
just so you know, Bo knows that we're talking shit. Because Mech's a fucking snitch.
Bo, learn how to play Jet. I want to see you land those ults, motherfucker. You know the difference is when like somebody pops their ult and then they put it away when they find a Vandal or a Phantom. Like, no, your ult can be fucking great. Like, use it. So much potential.
If I ever have kids, I'm gonna name my child Reina after
dude,
she's badass bitch.
She's a badass.
I think it's like I love the purple. Everything's purple.
I like purple.
I'm obsessed with purple.
Like I said, I'm saying that
Me too.
Purple was my.
I know your hair looks so fucking good, dude.
I mean, what about mine? What about mine, Aphaeaa? I have purple too.
In
It's
real life,
starting to go
Yours
away.
looks good, Kdog.
It looks
It
okay.
looks great.
That was
You do
that was
good.
such a
You do good.
backhanded, like, oh, I complimented Charlie. I guess I gotta compliment fucking Kdog on his purple hair.
Complimented yours. I
Nope,
already complimented yours.
nope.
Mine
It's
is
okay.
so faded though, like the ends are like turning like this weird orange purple color, but you can't see that like on stream. Like it actually still looks really pretty.
It looks like a vibrant purple.
Yeah. And I'm fine, whatever. I'm just gonna I don't know if I'm gonna keep my hair purple.
Mine's
I haven't
starting to
decided
darken
yet.
back up more and more. I mean, I don't have like dark hair, but I have like the dirty blonde, light brown hair, and it's starting
Well,
to.
I had to mix because I used the Arctic Fox like you, and I had to mix the aquamarine with the purple rain because the purple rain was way too pink in my personal opinion. It was not purple; it was like magenta, which is pink.
I don't know the
Or are
difference.
you colorblind?
I would say I don't know. I know purple. Purple
This
is purple.
Purple.
Purple is purple is
See?
purple. I don't.
No, that's pink.
I just know purple.
I wish it did.
I know there's like purple and there's lavender and there's violet, and I don't know the difference. It's all purple to me. Yeah. Anyways, Reyna, solid, sexy, great character.
Yep. I love her.
Anything else on that topic? I don't see anything in the live Q&A. So, anything else on Valorant? Chat? Anybody? Anything else? Anything we didn't cover? I see purple because I see pros. Yeah, I just imagine that all is purple. I don't know. I have purple, so whatever. Charlie's just sitting there smiling. I'm just
And
gonna
I'm
sit
listening
here.
to this song, and it just makes me want to. Dun, 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 dun,
I don't have any music going, and that makes me sad. I should just have like music going just to myself during the web show, so that way I could keep
That's what
myself
I
like
have.
hype.
Well, my stream can hear it, but
Yeah.
Mm.
I turn my
mine
music
on,
off
but
so that way
stereo.
everybody can like hear us talking. But I also, you know, I like having
I
vibe.
can't sit here and just have other people's voices in my head. So I need.
Yeah.
You need
I
more
need
voices in your
something.
head, is what you're
I'm
saying.
too ADHD, ADD would be like.
All of the above. All right. Well, officially, unofficially, any other questions out there in chat? All that kind of good stuff. We talked a little bit about everything. I think we covered everything about Valorant. Reyna, solid, new map, new launch, all the other things, goodness that we talked about. If not, speak now, forever hold your peace in chat. I don't see anything in the Discord section, so if you have any questions or whatever, speak now in chat. Otherwise, we'll start going through our closing due diligence, of course. Me, your host, KdogAfterDark, KdogAfterDark Gaming on everything. Charlie, where can everybody find you?
iCharley on Mixer and iCharley Mixer on Instagram and Twitter.
And when do you stream? What's your schedule?
Whenever the hell I feel like it. Usually
Same.
nighttime, except on Mondays.
So, nighttime for every day except for Monday. There we go. Join the sign up for notifications, join the Discord, all of that normal nonsense
Yes.
to know when she goes live.
Yes.
Yeah, all
Yes,
that.
yes.
Aphaeaa, what about you, Beb?
Aphaeaa on everything. Basic,
Which is
simple.
APHAEAA.
Yeah,
You
I
say
always wanna
Aphaeaa
switch
like
the
it's just
E
like,
and
oh,
the
everybody
A.
knows how to spell Aphaeaa.
I get
APHAEA.
Aphaeaa,
Yeah.
Aphaeaa.
APHAEAA on everything. Got it.
I always want to switch the, like, I always think it's APHEAAA.
Yeah, I like for whatever I do that also. Like I think
A.
that also. Like it makes sense when you spell it out, but also like just phonetically almost. It's like okay. And when do you stream?
4 p.m. Eastern time every day except for Fridays.
There you
Unless
go.
I feel like it.
Unless you feel it, which is pretty much every streamer. You know, I feel like there's always that, you know, that margin of error of, hey, I just want to go live and hang out with people.
Yep.
Yep, we do that every once in a while. Every once in a while I host, like, just fucking sitting there with fucking coffee early in the morning going, hey, I was couldn't sleep, so let's fucking hang out. I think that's it. I don't see anything else going on in chat. I don't think. I'm not sure. I'm trying to look through. Any other questions? Otherwise, I think that's everything. Speak now. Give you like the next 10 seconds. Otherwise, we will wrap up officially the official web show, and we'll keep going with whatever is going on and play some games and other goodness. That wouldn't sell otherwise. I mean, mine wouldn't. These two lovely ladies would have a Funko Pop for them.
I actually have a Funko Pop.
Yeah, I would say like Charlie has one from Go Team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine wouldn't fucking sell. Mine would be awkward.
I mean, that's fine.
Mine would have to come. Mine would literally have to come with the whole Funko Pop holding an actual like rocks glass. Like that would have to be my Funko Pop, or a wine glass in it in the arm, and just be like, "What's up?" Otherwise, it just wouldn't work.
Oh, look, there's half of Bobo's face.
Oh, I see half a. Mm-hmm. I need you, Charlie.
Charlie, I need you. There he is.
Yeah,
Here.
Charlie, I need
There we
you.
go.
That's her. Well, that's your sub, right?
Yeah.
Charlie, I need you.
Charlie,
back before you guys were officially a thing.
Still a thing. It's still going. There it goes.
So cute. So cute. All right. Anyways, guys, officially we're going to wind up the web show. Of course, stick around. We'll be playing games and other fun stuff, but we are going to wind up the official web show for the YouTube, the podcast, all that other kind of good stuff. Thank you again, Charlie, for co-hosting. And, of course, thank you, Aphaeaa, for being on the show. It was a pleasure.
No, you.
No, you.
No, you.
Stop it. No, you. Stop it. All right. Anyways, no, thank you, ladies. Was a pleasure as always.
Thank you.
Next week, launching season 2 of the web show. A lot of new things. If you've been around for web show, a lot of new things coming out, changing all of this. So this will all be different next week. And Drama Queen is going to be on the show since she unfortunately couldn't make it before. We rescheduled. She is going to be on the first episode of season 2. So Drama Queen and I believe JoJo will be co-hosting for the first episode of season 2. So look forward to seeing you guys there next week. Otherwise, have a great week. Everybody say bye. Everybody say bye in chat so that way you're at the bottom of the web show. So that way right there. Everybody spam bye. Bye. It takes a second to go. Update. Everybody wave. You're Crimson, you're not spamming by. That you're there we go. It takes a second. Bye everybody. Thank you. Have a beautiful time. And I'm gonna end the recording.
Bye.